We must end the scourge of gun violence. Oh, great. I don't have a light. I hope this light will do it. My light's not plugged in. Babe, could you plug this light in over here?
Yeah.
It's on the ground. How you guys doing this morning?
Hey, I want to show you something.
It's so funny. They monetize some videos and they don't monetize others. I can't believe they monetize this video and it's got the word gun in it. No rhyme or reason. No, I think it's down there on the ground. There you go.
Yes, it's tangled up.
How you guys doing this morning? How's the weather in Florida? We must end the scourge of gun violence. No, we don't. You know why? Because there's no such thing as gun violence. Guns don't commit violence. People commit violence. And it's the people that need to be stopped. The people who they call citizens, I'm not going to call them citizens because we're not a part of this corporate entity. People need to be empowered. There's no such thing as gun violence, and there's no scourge because they hook up scourge with epidemic. Everybody got their coffee this morning? We need our coffee. Black coffee. Let's get into this because we don't even have to predict this. We know it's going to happen. Anytime there's an alleged mass shooting, political parasites come out of the woodwork so that they can exploit this situation. And don't think that politicians have a heart. You're going to hear a lot of words about I'm heart sick, Elizabeth Warren says. My heart goes out to Castro says. This breaks my heart, Andrew Yang says. No, it doesn't. Politician hearts can't be broken. They're narcissistic and they're parasitic and they're power hungry. That's all they want. That's all they want, guys. They want power and they want control, and they want to control you guys. And the way they want to control you and they want to control me is through the initiation of laws that exert more force on us so that we can be less free. They don't care. They don't care. Knock, knock. Is anybody home? Politicians don't care for you. They never have, and they never will. They'll never be honest with you, and they will always lie to you. So the reason I put my thumbnail in there is because what we got trending this morning is hashtag gun reform now. That's gun control now, but it's not really gun control, it's people control. So let's change the hashtag. Let's get rid of the euphemisms. Let's change the euphemistic hashtag gun reform now, people control now. Let's just call it what it is. Matter of fact, let's create our own hashtag right here live. Let's just tweet out people control now. Hashtag. If you're not on my Twitter, my Twitter is High Impact Flicks. People control now. Okay, we're doing this live. People control now. Gonna hit tweet. That's what they should be calling it. People control now. That's what this is. That's what this is all about. Controlling people. Yeah, hashtag shall not be infringed. Hashtag me too. Don't use your Twitter anymore. Hashtag people control now. That's what this is. Why isn't it tweeting out? There it is. Okay. So hashtag gun reform now is going out there. First, let's deal with epidemic. Okay, what is an epidemic? There's really no number given to epidemic, but you would assume it's a pretty substantial number. Over 10% would be an epidemic. Let's just give them over 5% would be an epidemic. Do you know, we're going to listen to Beta Male O'Rourke, talk to us about how we need gun control and we need to control things and we need to make sure this never happens again. You're never going to be able to make sure this never happens again. You can't preempt a crime. You can't, they're going to try to do that with the TAPS Act, Brian Babin's TAPS Act. Who signed on to the TAPS Act? Thank you very much, Dan Crenshaw. Thank you. Thank you for not only giving us red flag laws, but red flag laws injected with the most powerful steroids you can possibly imagine. The pre-crime bill, the minority report, you don't have to have committed a crime. We just have to suspect that you might one day in the future, perhaps, maybe, I don't know, have a wild hair and commit a crime. We're taking your guns. We're taking your Fourth Amendment rights. We're taking your Second Amendment rights. We're going to even take your First Amendment rights. Why? Because we're the government and we're just here to help. We're just doing it to help people. That's all we're doing. And I know I keep banging this dead horse and I know it's gelatinized now, But we need to stay ahead of this, because if we don't stay way far ahead of it, we're going to slip behind. I'm not even so concerned about what beta male O'Rourke says. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what Elizabeth Biden. We're going to read some of that. We're just going to go over some tweets this morning, and we're going to talk about just absolute fiction that they're making up. We have an epidemic. Well, that's a fiction. We have a gun violence problem. Well, that's a fiction. It's all a fiction. Gun reform now. It's a fiction. It's a fiction. And who knows? All these shootings, they could be fictions. Thanks for the super chats. I'll deal with those at the end. All right, so let's get into this. So we got gun reform now. Let me see if I got this thing on a tripod. Hopefully I can turn this around and you can see my screen right here. I really appreciate you guys spending time with me on this Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, evening, wherever you guys are in the world. I'm gonna down some little Joe here. Can you guys see that okay? Got a cup of Joe. I just want you to be able to see this. There's no sound yet, but if you guys can see that okay, I know it's kind of at a slant. Let me see. So you see right here, we got the hashtag going. It's 36,000 tweets right now, and it's going up. When I first did this, I think it was 32,500. It's buffering a lot. Shoot, is everybody else getting buffering? Because mine, I'm not even. It's not even lagging on my end. You guys buffering? Is it freezing on you? Because I really want to. You're good. Yes, it is buffering. Shoot. Is it freezing on you? Because I really want to. It's good. Okay, let's go over this. Let's first of all, beta male O'Rourke. What's his name? Robert Francis. Robert Francis weighed in. He says, "We don't know how many have been killed. We don't know the motivation, but here's what we do know. This is effed up." Okay, ready? Here we go. Wait, let me fix the volume on this. Okay, here. Beta, tell us.
Not sure how many people have been shot. Don't know how many people have been.
By the way, I didn't finish my thought. Sorry, I don't want to get all harebrained here, but it doesn't concern me so much what Elizabeth Warren says, or Beta Male O'Rourke, or Andrew Yang, or Bernie Sanders, or any of these people, Joe Biden. What does concern me is this right here: 76,000 people liked what Beta Male had to say. 19.1 thousand retweeted what he had to say. And right up here, he only released this 14 hours ago. It doesn't even concern me about these parasites. What does concern me is people are so checked out and brain dead that they follow these parasites and they parrot these parasites. And nothing, you cannot underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups, guys. Never underestimate that, because there is power to stupid people in large groups. And the more of them you get together, the more destruction and chaos they bring about. So, yeah, sheeple. Exactly, Tommy, sheeple. Okay, here we go.
The condition of those who have survived. Don't know what the motivation is. Do not yet know the firearms that were used or how they acquired them. But we do know this is fucked up.
Now, notice that's all it takes to get a crowd going. There's a book that there's an ebook that I sent out. It's by Gustave Le Bon. It was written quite a while ago, but there's a lot of good nuggets in there. It's called The Psychology of the Crowd. When you get individuals involved in a crowd, they lose their individuality. They literally lose their individuality. And even people who have a high moral standard, their moral standard goes away in a crowd, and they go with the crowd. And it's almost like all the individuals that make up the crowd, shut up with the actual statistics, Brian. All the individuals that make up the crowd actually lose their identity, and they become one with the crowd. And it becomes basically a mob rule scenario. It's ridiculous. If you guys want me to, I'll reissue that ebook. It's totally free. It is the actual book. If you guys are interested in that, give me a thumbs up and make sure you're on my email list. It's at highimpactflix.com. Matter of fact, let me just pull it up right here. I really want to do this because I want to circumvent all this censorship crap that's going on. This is my email. I mean, this is my website. And if you want to sign up to the email list, it's on the right hand side. Just put your name and email there and subscribe, and then you'll get a confirmation email that you have to confirm it, and then you'll get your ebook. But I want to get out this information because knowledge is power, guys. It's power. All right, so let's listen to beta again.
There is no reason that we have to accept this as our fortune, as our future, as our fate, and yet functionally.
I didn't even ask. Can you guys hear this okay? Because I got the mic is totally up, and if you can't hear it, this is not going to be. Can you guys hear that okay? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, cool.
Right now, we have to have a Congress that will not even study gun violence. By law, has prevented the Centers for Disease Control from knowing the facts, lest we be motivated and compelled to do something about them. Will not even pass universal background checks or close those loopholes that allow people to buy a firearm when they should not be able to.
I don't know if you guys know this, but when they say close first of all, universal background checks, we all know that's an infringement. You're basically barring access to a life-saving device. That's what I'm calling a firearm, is a life-saving device. They're barring access to that little old lady or that single mom who just wants to protect themselves from a life-saving device by going through the rigors of a background check, and they might not approve you. So what this is an infringement. Second Amendment still says shall not be infringed. And last I checked, we're still in America. That's still quote unquote the supreme law of the land. And you don't even need that. It's just the fact that no individual has the right to bar access to a life-saving device. Nobody. And if you're not familiar with what the gun, they like to throw out these terms, gun show loophole. What the gun show loophole is that they want to be able to control all gun sales. When you go to a gun show, you got people who are federal licensed firearms dealers, and you buy from them and you have to go through a background check. And then you have private party sales, like somebody will set up a table and they got a bunch of guns that they just want to sell. That's the gun show loophole. They want to control the FFLs, and they want to control the private party sales. That's what they mean by closing the gun show loophole. Basically, what they're saying is we want the government to step in and eliminate the free market. We do not want an unregulated transaction to take place as far as the transfer of a life-saving device, which is a firearm.
Dan famously going into a gun show.
Yeah, that's right. A bad guy says if guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns. It's like duh. It's common sense, right? Total. And they try to commandeer the common sense terminology. Well, it's gun. It's common sense gun regulations. It's common sense gun reform. Oh, you don't want gun reform? You don't want gun control? Well, you must not have common sense. But the common sense part is a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. And they're like, oh, that's an NRA talking point. It's not an NRA talking point. A good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun is not an NRA talking point. It's just true. Just because the NRA uses it doesn't mean it's a bad phrase. And you gotta admit, guys, do your research on it. It's so funny what they do with the NRA. They treat the NRA like it's the Goliath we must conquer. They're your enemy. Yeah, the NRA is your enemy, but they're an enemy for a way different reason than you might think. They're the ones who instituted the NICS instant background check system. I don't know if you remember it, but I played a couple of times on my videos. Wayne LaPierre said, if it wasn't for the NRA, the National Rifle Association, we wouldn't have the NICS instant background check system. That's true. And then at the end of it, he goes, it's true. Yeah, it is. They pushed through legislation to have a universal background check. That's the NRA. That's why there's such compromisers at the NRA. They are against the Second Amendment while they say they champion the cause of the Second Amendment. statistics have been given to me, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they say 74% of NRA members approve of some form of background check. That is total infringement, guys. If that number is true, that's a seriously high number, and these people are seriously brain dead. If you want a true champions of the Second Amendment, go with the Gun Owners of America. And then I don't know why it does that, guys. Sorry, it just went blank on me. But that's one of the reasons I do this on my phone, because on my phone I have an option to resume. So yeah, the NRA is totally for background checks, which means they're totally for infringement while they say they're for your Second Amendment rights. Those 75% are good Christians that are doing what Fox News and their churches are telling them to do. Yeah, we're live again. Sorry, guys. And it's so frustrating when it freezes up like that. Like you saw, it just went from like 390 people to 300. I lost 100 in 30 seconds. So, yeah, thanks for staying with me, guys. If it freezes again, don't worry. I'm going to do everything I can behind the scenes to get this back. So if you want a non-compromised Second Amendment gun rights group, you want to go with GOA, Gun Owners of America. A little plug for them. All right, let's get back to Beto. Beto, we got a lot of ground to cover, guys. Are we okay? Everybody good? I love reading your comments, guys. Government can't buy back what it has never owned. Yep, exactly. All right, here we go.
Buying an AR-18 without a background check. We went to a gun show last week in Conway, Arkansas. I didn't know that it was the best idea in the world after we had just released a proposal that would mandate a buyback of every AR-15 and AK-47. We showed up because we wanted to bring everyone into the conversation. And the first guy who comes up to me and says, look, I got to be honest with you. I'm here because 40,000 of our fellow Americans are going to lose their lives this year to gun violence unless we do something different. And I may presume that you and I do not come to the same conclusion on this, but tell me what your idea is. And he said, no, I think you're onto something. Though I sell guns at this show, I should not.
Listen to what he's saying here. I think he's totally BSing. I can't even imagine a guy who's at a gun show saying any of this right here. Are we okay, guys? I'm hearing people say it's buffering. Beto the Wedo. Just give me a thumbs up. I'm just going to check in because I don't want to keep on going. And then people are like, hey, it froze up like 5 minutes ago. We don't hear what you're saying. Okay, good. Yeah, did you hear what he said about the person at the gun show? Listen, he continues to lie. This guy's just doing nothing but lying through his teeth.
Be able to do that. If you have a pulse and you're 18 years old in Arkansas, you can buy this gun. Really, no other questions asked. He said, I should not be able to do this. Another guy who owns an AR-15 says, I don't know that I'm willing to give this up, but I've got 3 kids in school, just like you have 3 kids in school, Beto, and they're scared to go to school every day, and I'm scared for them. Something's got to change. Someone else says, I voted for Donald Trump. I have an assault weapon.
Okay, listen to this guy. I voted for Donald Trump. I have an assault weapon. I don't know anybody who owns an AR-15 that calls that dang thing an assault weapon, man.
But I'm willing to give it up because this is not right.
I voted for Donald Trump. I have an assault weapon, but I'm willing to give it up because this is not right. Can you get any more brain dead than that? This guy is just operating on a cloud of fiction right here.
This is not an act of God. This is not some natural disaster. This is a human-caused problem with a human solution. And if you're willing, we can be the humans who are going to do something about this.
This is a human-caused problem with a human solution. You know what their human solution is? Their human solution is, look at that. You got hashtag mass shooting now. Hashtag massacre Mitch. Where's the other one? Endless shrimp. Huh, it's not. I know it's still trending because it was still way up there. I guess Massacre Mitch took its place because it's got 64,000 tweets now. But we're going to continue with this hashtag gun, basically people control now. Elizabeth Warren says, I'm heartsick for the victims of this latest mass shooting in Odessa and Midland, We shouldn't have to live with this near daily fear and horror. Guys, do you live in near daily fear and horror? I don't. What is she talking about? How can these politicians so freely speak for the rest of us? Are you anybody out there living in daily fear and horror? Let's just take a real quick poll. Anybody negative? No, I carry a gun. Exactly. Exactly. No, I don't. Nope. Anybody? Ferris Bueller? Anybody? No fear, no horror. Nope. Yeah, as long as you have your firearm, even if you don't have a firearm, why would you live in fear and horror? Nope. It's amazing how they can not only speak for you, but then people can get on board with look at this. She's not as popular as Beto. She's got 17,000. Why is it not focusing now? Come on. Come on. 17,600 likes, 3.8 thousand retweets. Look, we're going to read Joe Biden is heartbroken. Do you believe that Joe Biden has the capacity to be heartbroken, or that Elizabeth Pocahontas, I lied about my Native American ancestry that doesn't exist so that I can get into a particular college and take advantage of all the minority handouts? You think she cares about you? You think she lives in daily fear and horror? Probably not, because she's surrounded by armed guards. We've already lost far too many to gun violence. Gun violence doesn't exist, guys. The state is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everyone else. And they always make up euphemistic terms so they can get things their way, so that they can exercise more control. Congress must act now. We've got to do something. Texas Tribune says, on CNN, the mayor of Midland says one confirmed shooter killed. We don't know that. At least 20 citizens injured. We don't know that. One Midland police officer was shot. We don't know that. One DPS officer injured. We don't know that, guys. Face it, all we know is what was filtered to us through mainstream media, and we know how dishonest they've been. Joe Biden weighs in on this. Looks like I continually have to focus this because it doesn't autofocus. Let me back it up a little bit. Just want you to be able to see these guys in their own words. I'm heartbroken, sickened, and angry. Weeks after the horror in El Paso, another community in Texas has been terrorized by, there it is. Everybody's going to say it. Everybody's going to weigh in on it. They're going to pound this psychological operations into your brain until you just submit. Get rid of your guns. We will take care of you. We are Big Brother. Enough. We must end this epidemic. Now, let me bring this over. Let's talk about epidemic, okay? Let me bring my calculator over to the screen. This is my calculator. We can actually pull out calculators in this day and age. Let me pull this up right here, and you can see all my figures. There's 327 million. I hope you can see this. Here, let me put it like this. Here's all my, show your work. Show your work, Mrs. Dempsey said in 4th grade. Show your work. Make sure you show your work. Okay. Okay, Mrs. Dempsey, I'll show my work. Doggone it. If my work could be seen here. Darn. What is going on? I think it's trying to focus on too much on the screen. There we go. There we go. Let me just do that right there. Okay, little class instruction here. Where's my pen? Here's my pointer. Here's my pointing tool. There are approximately 327 million people in the United States. Let's give them the 40,000, even though 60% of that is suicide, okay? So we have 327 million people, 40,000 deaths due to gun violence. Here, let me just do the gun violence. Okay, 40,000 people die in America due to gun violence, or so-called gun violence. Doggone it, stay focused. Stay focused, Mick. Cut me, Mick. What is going on here? I want you to see this. All right, let's just do this right here. What is going on? All right. 40,000 divided by 327 million is 1.22 times, multiply that times 100 to get the percentage. It's 0.01%. If we give them the 40,000 number, guys, It's 0.01%. That is not an epidemic. Now let's just take half of that away. It's 0.006116207. You see it. 0.006 die to gun violence every year. And of that 40,000, 60%, I think it's even 65% now, is people who take their lives using a gun. So they're suicides. Okay, those don't count. 60%, guys. 0.006 is not an epidemic, Mr. I'm heartbroken, sick, and angry Joe Biden, political parasite. Give me a break. Those are the numbers. Those are the facts, guys. And let me just say this. Let me go on record as saying this. I do not hide behind statistics. Okay. Let's say that number was inverted. Let's say it was 60% dying to gun violence. It still does not give anybody a right and any legitimacy to initiate gun violence. And that's what it is when you initiate a law. When you enforce a law, it's force. When you enforce a law, you're forcing somebody to do something against their will and without their consent. Even if the number was 60%, shall not be infringed is still in play. The law of the land is still the Constitution. The part of the law of the land is the Bill of Rights. Part of the Bill of Rights is the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's still in play. And even if they eradicated that right, I'm not even standing behind that or on the Constitution. It's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. So even if that number was 60%, not 0.006%, it still doesn't give this person A the right to initiate gun violence on this person because he possesses a life-saving device called a firearm. Does not do it. This person does not have a moral right to rule this person. And this person does not have a moral obligation to obey this person, or else we're going to initiate gun violence against you. So it doesn't matter about statistics. I'll talk about statistics to reveal their lie. It doesn't matter about the Constitution. I'll talk about the Constitution to reveal that they don't even keep their oath. It's not about any of that. It's about the golden rule. No man or woman has the right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong just because they happen to possess the same life-saving device that another person used. It's just a tool that another person used to kill a whole bunch of people. Well, that person killed a whole bunch of people. But that person, 50,000 people died because people were throwing water, this exact kind of water jug from tall buildings and crushing people. So we need to come into your house, and we need to invade your person's house's papers and effects and take this water jug from you because of what other people did with this water jug. It's insanity. It is literal insanity. So it doesn't matter. I bring up the statistics to show that we do not have an epidemic, but I do not bring up the statistics to show, see, that's why we need to keep our weapons. No, that's not why we need to keep our weapons. The reason we need to keep our weapons is because nobody has a right to take your weapons away from you. And when I say weapons, I'm talking about a life-saving, personal use tool or device that you can actually use, anybody can use. It's very simple. It's such a simple tool. Like I always say, God may have made man, but Samuel Colt, he dang sure made him equal. He made him equal. You want to go outside, buddy? You want to go outside? You want to let him out, babe? All right. So let's get back into Joe. I'm touchy-feely, Joe. Let's see. Let me look at some comments here. Comments. Gosh, I let the comments go, didn't I? Okay. An air rifle is not a firearm. Who said it was? Did I say air rifles a firearm? Statistics prove their lies. Yeah. Well, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. But let's say the statistics worked in their favor. It doesn't matter. It still doesn't give a politician the right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. Period. Any objections? Anyone? 456. I really appreciate you guys being in here, man. It's super humbling. Anytime I see one person in here, like if one person was in here, I would be so stoked. But 462 people are in here. I'm like, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. You need to work for GOA. Hey, I've been trying to get Eric Pratt on. That'd be awesome to get Eric Pratt on this show. I love that guy. I interviewed him over at the March Against Our March Against Our Rights. Actually, it's March Against Our Lives too, in Washington D.C. back after the Parkland event. Hey, appreciate you too, MAGA Texas. Hang in there, Texas. Don't give up your firearms. Don't give up your life-saving devices. Okay, so Joe Biden, we're right here now. Joe Biden says, I'm heartbroken, sickened, and angry. Weeks after the horror in El Paso, another community in Texas has been terrorized by gun violence. Guys, the community, he's speaking for the community. He did exactly what we just read Elizabeth Warren do and exactly what we heard Beta Male O'Rourke do. They're speaking for everybody else. Speaking for every. Can you imagine speaking for someone? It's like, why are you doing that, man? I didn't authorize you to speak for me. Another community in Texas has been terrorized by gun violence. You know what? Not everybody in the community was terrorized by gun violence. I'm sure there's a lot of people in Midland and Odessa who are like, come on, boy. You want to come to my neck of the woods? You ain't gonna make it out alive. Those people are far from terrorized. Those people are prepared. Enough. We must end this. And he does it again. Epidemic. This says, send your thoughts, and I send our thoughts to those affected and thank our law enforcement who responded at great risk. Who else weighs in? Oh, Cory Booker. Boy, we knew he was going to weigh in, didn't we? Hold on, let me see if I can zoom this in without. Let's see. Can you guys see that okay? It's a little blurry because it's kind of why don't I do this? Why don't I just use my noggin? Just turn the computer screen so it's like straight on instead of curved like that. So easy not to use your noggin in these days. Just turn your mind off. Let a politician do your thinking for you. So easy to do. Let me get this a little bit more. I'll get these technical issues ironed out. Thanks for staying with me. I know it's blurry. Shoot. Come on, phone. Where's autofocus when you need it? Let's see. What if I do that? I don't know. You can read that, right? All right. Cory Booker says, a 17-month-old baby. It's perverse. Cory Booker's telling us something's perverse. That's hilarious. That we live in a society where this is allowed to happen. How about allowed to happen? How about you guys hogtie people? You know what? This is interesting. This event. Oh, check this out. This just came up. Look at this. Hurricane Dorian just upgraded to a Category 5. Hey, you guys should go to Mike Morales' channel. I'm gonna shout him out again. This guy has done a fan. I've been watching a lot of him lately. He goes from Above Ground World News, but the name of his channel is let me get over here. Mike Morales. It's just his name, Mike Morales. Head over there. He does an incredible job exposing the lies in the weather community. So what we have going on here is a Category 5. Dorian has been upgraded. So hey, Mike Morales, if you're watching this, let us know what the wind speeds are on that. I know we could check it out, but you already have all this stuff up. So I love our community, guys. Our community of people who know what the heck is going on. They don't believe just anything. By the way, I designed another shirt. They question everything. Here's the new design for the shirt. Oh shoot, I'm not gonna be able to show you what's going on here. Something happened with my. All right, technical issues. What happened? I don't know what happened to my. Well, you're not gonna be able to see this very well, but question everything is the new design. Somebody requested that yesterday. I thought I'd hop on the computer and design it. So that's the new shirt. Question everything. Don't believe everything people say. Don't believe politicians are out for your best interest. They never are. Not almost never are. They never are. They're only out to transfer power and wealth. That's all they're out there. It's corporate employees. They're Title 28. Let's just talk about this for a second before we get back into Cory Booker. Title 28, Section 3002, it's Section 15A. It's their own documentation, guys. They admit that the United States means a federal corporation. So when you have a congressman or a senator or a president or the judges, they all work for that corporation. And when employees work for a corporation, they're looking out for corporate interests. They're not looking out for your interests, even though they put their hand on the Bible and raise their hand toward heaven and say that they're going to protect the Constitution, which essentially means they're going to protect you and your individual liberties and your right to life, liberty, and property, and the pursuit of happiness. They're not there to do what they say they're going to do. They're there to break their oath in favor of the corporate entity they work for. So no politician will ever tell you the truth. And when they do say truth, they're only using it to manipulate you, to swindle you out of your power, which is your rights, and out of your wealth, which is your money. And to kick it all off, we have the dishonest money system I call it the fiat currency Ponzi scheme, the Zionist international banking cartel petro-narco dollar, which is literally worth nothing. And they manipulate that price through the hidden tax called inflation. So you spend your time and your laboring energies and put it into that dollar bill, which is not really a dollar, it's just a fiat currency note of debt. You put all your time and laboring energies, you go out for 8 hours a day, maybe you have 2 or 3 jobs, and you work your ass off, and then they take the money that you earn. They take it. They don't ask for it. It's not, I don't care what Harry Reid says, taxation is not voluntary. The IRS is not going to be kind to you if you don't give them what the plunder, what they're trying to plunder you of. So men with guns will come to your house and make sure that you pay them what you should be paying them. If you don't, then you're a criminal, you're a tax evader, and your name is dragged through the mud, and people are going, oh my God, he's a tax evader, he's a criminal. No, he's not. People who want to keep the little old lady who's trying to cross the street and a purse snatcher comes up behind her and grabs her purse is not a criminal because she wouldn't let go, because she's trying to clutch and hang on to her purse. She's not the criminal. In like manner, if you're trying to keep 100% of all that you earn for your family to provide them with food, clothing, and shelter and a good way of life, and the IRS comes and tries to take your money and you go, no, you ain't taking it. You are not the criminal. That's the upside down world we live. And Bernie Sanders would go, well, they didn't pay their fair share. Well, it's not about paying. It's about not relinquishing your money to a criminal who's trying to extort you. And see, even the street thief, all he's trying to, most street thieves, they just try to pick your pocket and then they leave. They're not threatening you with force and violence if you don't give them your wallet or your purse. But the government is involved not just in theft. Taxation isn't just theft, it is extortion. They're basically saying, if you don't give us your money, we will send men with guns to your house and threaten you with force and violence until you do. And if you still don't comply, we're gonna arrest you and throw your ass into a cage. That's called extortion. So taxation literally is extortion. Taxation is, you're that little old lady on that street corner, and the thug comes up behind you and sticks a gun in your back. Give me 33%, give me 27%, give me 18%. If you don't, I'm pulling the trigger on you, mama. That is exactly what taxation is. And we need to wipe away all the freaking euphemisms so that we can see clearly and see what's going on in this world. Because see, when you change language and you redefine terms, you can actually control the minds of people in society, individuals in society. And now they see taxation as something that's necessary. It's for the common good. You have to pay your fair share. Well, society would crumble without our taxes. No, it wouldn't. Society would actually flourish without an entity who has a monopoly on force and power, saying that they can dip into your savings account, they can dip into your pocketbook, they can dip into your paycheck and take whatever they want for any reason they want. That is not a good society. That's a society built on the crumbling, sinking sands of immorality. And I didn't mean to get off on, I wasn't even planning on talking about taxation, but you know what? All this stuff is interlinked. It's all together, and you start peeling it back like peeling an onion, and you find out how many layers of deception, and you can never get to the Tootsie center of a Tootsie Pop. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie center of a Tootsie Pop? No, how many layers of onion do you have to get back to unearth the truth? There is no truth in that onion. It's all deception. It's all based on a lie. All their euphemistic terms, all their empty promises, it's all based on a lie. It is all garbage. And that's why Bastiat said the state, the government, is that great fiction by which the people, by which they, extract your wealth, by which people live at the expense of everybody else. The government extracting wealth, giving it to these people who didn't work for it. Now these people are the plundered class. You have the plundered class. You have the ruling class. You got the poor class. We have a class system in America. And it's all based on freaking lies. And that's why I have this channel. How are we doing out there? Did I get off on it wasn't an unrelated rant though. I know it's not an unrelated rant. The greatest prison of all is your own mind. Who said that? Slim Frank. Exactly. Exactly. It's like that horse that's tied to that $2 half a pound plastic Walmart chair. He weighs 1,500 freaking pounds and he's tethered to a chair and he thinks in his mind, I can't possibly go anywhere. I mean, look at the enormity of this chair. That's what he's thinking in his mind. How can that might as well be the Rock of Gibraltar. That might as well be tied to the Washington Monument. I can't move that. I can't possibly hope to move that. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they're free. And that's exactly the job of a politician, is to get you to falsely believe that you're free. Period. That's what this whole game is about. Change my mind. Change. All right, let's see. What do we got going here? Are we good, man? I'm going to check in with you guys every so often, read some of these cool comments you guys are laying down. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Are you picking it up? Did we freeze? Oh, wait. I'm on Mike Morales' thing. Okay, we didn't freeze. Let me read some super chats, and then we'll get back to Cory Booker. Everybody okay? We're talking about Cory Booker. You know what I watched last night? I might pull it up. It was hilarious. Dave Chappelle tears up Jussie Smollett. It's hilarious. Anybody see that? The video was launched. I think it's a Netflix. It's called Netflix is a Joke, is the name of the channel. Cory Booker, you're a hooker. That's a great shirt design. Which one? This one? Nobody for president? Start ruling yourself. Anyway, this YouTube channel called I'll pull it up here in a second. It's called Netflix is a Joke. It looks like somebody's down in Netflix, but I think it's really is Netflix. And Dave Chappelle just tears Jussie Smollett up. It's hilarious. All right, here's some super chats. September 1st, guys. Where did August go? It seems like it just became the new year. It just became 2019. All right, what are you guys saying? I heard somebody say something about Jussie Smollett. I listened to Dave Chappelle call Jussie Smollett Juicy Smollett. He called him a French actor. You ever heard that French actor that got arrested in Chicago, Juicy Smollett? I think I'm going to pull it up. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to pull it up. We'll share a laugh together. I mean, to me, I mean, like sometimes people dog me for laughing at stuff, but you know what? If you don't, you're going to lose your freaking mind. Thumbs up. You want to laugh with Dave Chappelle for a second? Oh my gosh. I'll play it in bits because if I play, yeah, I'll pull it up. Let's see. I just laugh thinking about it. Thumbs up. Okay. All right. We'll share a laugh. Dave Chappelle. This is going to be great doing this with you guys. I love hanging out with you. Jussie. I would love to have seen Jussie Smollett's face if he watched that. And you know he has. This thing's got 3.7 million views and it was released just 2 days ago. All right. We'll try this. Thumbs down. What the hey? We'll get back to political parasites, guys. Don't get a strike from YouTube officers. I know. I'm gonna chop this up a little bit, guys, because this may not even play right on this because I may have to drag it to my other screen. Yeah, because there's gonna be movement and it's not my. I don't know what the heck is wrong with this phone. You know, maybe it's good that it's blurred. You don't really have to see him. All you have to do is hear him. Sorry, I got drainage this morning. There's something going on out there in Tahlequah land. All right, here we go.
Just afraid of being attacked. Happens to the best of us. Don't ever forget what happened to that French actor.
Okay, I'm going to stop this because I do not want to get a copyright strike, but he's calling Jesse Smollett a French French actor. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Juicy Smollett. He's a very French, very famous French actor.
I wish you could see this. Juicy Smollett. I wish you could see this because this guy right here. Oh, yeah, you can. Look, this guy does not laugh. I was watching this with Trish last night. This guy does not laugh. It's so funny. Maybe he doesn't know who Jussie Smollett is, but he does not laugh. Watch his face. I love watching crowd reactions. But he's like, his wife's laughing or his girlfriend's laughing, but he's
Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smollett is an actor from France.
Okay, I'm breaking this up, guys. It might drive you crazy, but this is gonna keep me from getting a strike. But I'm reading some comments here. I'm gonna read your comments. Juicy Smollett. All right, here we go.
And he became famous on a show called Empire.
Yeah, Dave Brandt says Dave's a genius. You know what kills me about Dave, though? Dave Chappelle strikes me as a very smart, quick-witted guy, but I saw him, I don't know if you guys saw the interview with him and Van Jones on CNN, but it kind of disappointed me because my first exposure to Dave Chappelle was he was actually, hey, babe, can you let the dog in? My first exposure to Dave Chappelle was he was downing the elite and basically exposing sort of the Illuminati. And I was like, man, mad respect to that guy. But then he gets on Van Jones and starts getting all into this left versus right paradigm crap that he should have way stayed away from, man. I don't even know why these people get involved in this kind of stuff, unless they're doing it from a moral basis instead of a political basis, because he's totally partisan, which is a bummer. Maybe he's changed now, but yeah, Bill Burr is awesome too. We watched a little bit of him last night as well.
One night, he was in Chicago late at night and was the victim.
You guys got to admit, it is hilarious calling Jussie Smollett Juicy Smollett. All right.
He was the victim of a racist and homophobic attack. You see, Juicy Smollett is...
Somebody said George Carlin is the best. That guy was a genius, man. A genius. And talk about laying down some truth. Wow. It's hard to beat George Carlin. I totally agree.
Gay, and he is black, not just French. Oh, it was a crazy story. Apparently.
Not just, I don't know if you caught that. He's not just gay and black, but he's also French.
When he was walking down the street late at night, two white men came out of the shadows with MAGA hats on and beat him up. Tied a rope around his neck, called him all kinds of niggas. And
oh, man, I forgot that word was in there. I wonder if that's going to get me jeez. Isn't it amazing how some people can get away with saying the N-word, but others can't? Like, is it wrong or is it not wrong? Is it only wrong if certain people say it? That's another thing right there. It's just all this racist crap and censorship is messed up to the hilt.
put some bleach on him and ran off into the night. This shit was like international news. And everybody was furious, especially in Hollywood. It's all over everybody's Twitter feed and Instagram page. Justice for Juicy and all this shit.
Justice for Juicy. Guys, if you're new, I keep stopping this. I know it drives people crazy, but I got to break this up because people, Chappelle or Netflix will slap a copyright on this.
The whole country was up in arms. Just talking about it all the time on the news. And for some reason, African Americans, we were like oddly quiet.
I'm going to read some of your comments, guys. The N word with an A or an ER at the end. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's almost like sometimes it's no, it's how you say it. No, it's who said it. No, it's in what context they said it. Look, either the N word is acceptable or it's not. And I don't think any word should be out of bounds. I don't care. I don't use the F word, not in my personal life. I don't melt like a snowflake if I hear somebody say it around me. It doesn't matter to me what people say. It's just a word that I choose not to use. But to blacklist somebody or take their channel down because they said it, or can you let's talk about terms of service. YouTube terms of service. Can you think of a more gross violator of YouTube's terms of service than like Rihanna or Eminem? And yet they not only allow their content, but they top trend and they recommend their content. It's so hypocritical. Freedom is the real F word. I agree. All right, ready? Back to Dave.
We're so quiet about this shit that the gay community started accusing African American community of being homophobic for not supporting him. What they didn't understand is that we were supporting him with our silence.
Now this punchline coming up is hilarious. I'm breaking this up still, guys. The N word, no, says Jan. Joseph says worst word is government. Yep, I totally agree with that. I do agree. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with these super chat. I mean, not super chats, but the chats in the room.
Because we understood that this nigga was clearly lying.
Hey guys, you know what's funny about this? You know what's really funny about this is that the initial reports for a long time, you had Good Morning America, you had really believing Jussie Smollett's story. And it looked so everybody in the truth community and the alternative news space, everybody who the mainstream media calls conspiracy theorists, all knew right away that a black guy in Chicago at 2:30 in the morning getting a subway, it's -14. It was during the polar vortex. It was literally the what do they call that? It's wind. What's that called, babe? When it's not the actual temperature, wind chill. The wind chill was -47, and he's saying they poured white dudes with MAGA hats at 2:30 in the morning in -47-degree weather, poured bleach on me. Hook, line, and sinker, mainstream, fake stream media bought it, and then they packaged it, and then they sent it out to the masses like it was true, and they're the ones that sit there with egg on their face, but they call us conspiratorial, conspiracy theorists. They call us fake news. They're the ones, they don't just spoon feed fake news. They're shoveling it out. Boatloads, truckloads of fake news every single day in every 24/7 news cycle you can possibly imagine. And they're calling us conspiracy theorists. They're calling us fake news. It's ridiculous. The psychological operation on that is intense. Intense. Back to Dave Chappelle.
None of these details added up at all. He said he's walking down the street in Chicago and white dudes come up to him and say, "Hey man, aren't you that faggot nigger from Empire?" That sound like how white people talk. No white people, they don't talk like that. Are you that faggot nigger from Empire?
What he's gonna say here is hilarious. He's basically putting in words what everybody out there was thinking.
But they would never say that. It sounds like something that I would say. If you were
all right, it's hilarious. I'm not gonna play the rest of this. I feel like maybe I went over the line on the on the copyright thing. So let's get back to Cory Booker. Lost about 150 people there. Is it buffering real bad, guys? Or can you see everything okay? Everything coming through good? I'm going to the chat here. Raul says Silverstein. Yeah, that about says it all for 9/11, doesn't it? Silverstein. Buffering. Come on, stay focused. There we go. Video's coming in fine. Buffering. Some people are buffering. I wonder, okay, so all you tech savvy guys out there, so if it's buffering on your end, but it's good on my end, does that mean it's a connection speed problem on other people's ends? You have to refresh. You have to refresh or the channel doesn't come back? Really? Got a thumbs up. Please don't lose your channel over the French guy. I know YouTube. God, YouTube used to be a really good place. Make a video about Massachusetts and the insanity of the new proposed gun laws. Oh, is there a new one in Massachusetts? Haven't seen that on my radar yet, but yeah, I'll look into it, man. Any gun law from anywhere, any kind of yes. Slim Frank says if it's buffering, refresh. Let me see. What does he say here? Buffering, hit refresh. Yeah, just hit the refresh button. Maybe that'll work. Still some buffering. Thanks, Joseph. Audio video mismatch. Yeah, I hate that. That happens a lot when you live stream. I got a really fast internet connection. I checked it before I went live. Okay, so back to Cory Booker. It's perverse that we live in a society where this is allowed to happen. Remember, this is all okay. So now look, since we've been talking, gun reform now came back. Come on. Gun form. Geez. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know what the deal is here. Maybe I should go to my other screen. If I go to the other screen, I gotta hold it. It won't be still for you guys. I gotta figure this focusing thing out. This is on a Galaxy S10, and it should. I think what it's doing is it's trying to focus in on the screen and not on the contents on the screen. I really want this to be clear though. Oh shoot, I almost had it. What's going on here? I wish I could set it to manual. Set it and forget it. Disable autofocus. Oh, you can do that in that Galaxy. Let's see. Can I do that while I'm live? Shoot, I don't want to mess something up here. Let me see. Thanks for that tip, guys. I didn't know you could disable autofocus. I actually went in there and tried. It didn't look like there was the ability to do that. Darn. You know what I'm gonna have to do? Here, let me pull this down to my other screen. I didn't want to do this, but I will. Because I think it focuses better on a, believe it or not, it focuses better on a glare screen. At least I think it does. It did. Let me turn this light off right here. All right, this is on my laptop on a glare screen. Let me see if that works. The only problem is, like, on my laptop, I can't. Yeah, actually, that works better. Okay, so you see, you're now. Gun reform now has 40,000.4 tweets. When I started the live stream, it was at 32.5. It just keeps going up and up and up. And the thing that concerns me about this, and the reason I wanted to do this live stream, is because we don't need gun reform now. What we need is politicians to stay out of our business. And and basically, we need an education campaign to show people, hey, look, I don't know what it is. This coffee's giving me. What we need to do is get people to understand that they need to empower themselves so that when, not if, these tragic things happen and these people go crazy and grab a gun and start killing people, they can defend themselves. They can empower themselves. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm gonna find that autofocus feature because this is not good. I want to provide good quality content for you guys. This is such a waste of time. All right, I'm pulling it back to the other screen. At least I could keep it still. Let's see. All right. Pulling it back. Let me set this up. Hang with me, guys. I will get this straight. I really appreciate you staying with me. I do not know Let's see. Hold on one second. I'm trying to bring it back over. Here we go. Go back to Corey. The reason I'm doing this is because there is a point to this gun reform now crap. Just stay focused. This is maddening. Maybe I'll go back to my old phone. Did not do this. Yeah, I have OBS. You can live stream from your desktop. Yeah, the problem is it keeps cutting the stream on me. And if I get the stream cut on my portable phone here, then I can resume, and there's no resume button. When they see, I live streamed the other day. There, I got it in focus. I live streamed the other day, and I had to. It made me start 8 live streams. It was ridiculous. So I had like 600 people in the room, and then the people who were in the room got crapped on by YouTube because they cut it off. And so they stay in the room not knowing that it's automatically started another chat with another link. I mean, another live stream. And it did that 8 times. It was really, by the way, if you guys were with me that night, I really appreciate you staying with me. It was very frustrating for everybody. So he says, it's perverse that we live in a society where this is allowed to happen. My heart goes out. No, it doesn't. To all those affected by today's mass shootings in Odessa and Midland, Texas. And Castro weighs in. My heart goes out. It's amazing. All the hearts for all these politicians go out to these people, but what they're trying to do is enact their own gun violence. My heart goes out to the victims and their families of the mass shootings in Odessa. More innocent people will lose their lives if we don't change our lax gun laws. That's BS, man. In other words, if we don't initiate more gun violence, we're going to have more gun violence. It is insane asylum garbage. The time is now. Hashtag do something. Of course, Kamala Harris weighs in. I'm heartbroken. Wow, it's amazing. Look at all the hearts of all these politicians just breaking for the families and victims of Odessa and Midland. Our children deserve a future without multiple mass shootings in 1 month. We need gun safety reform. See, they're not even calling it. They're abandoning gun control because gun control sounds too much like they want to control. And so if we package it, let's repackage our euphemism and do a double euphemism and call it gun safety reform. Yeah, virtue signaling. Yeah, exactly, William. That's all they're doing is virtue signaling. Look how great I am. Look how much I care about people. Come on board with me. That's a lot of broken hearts, poor things. Who said that? That's hilarious. Mrs. J.B. Howard. Yeah. You want to watch the full video of Dave Chappelle? Shoot. Okay, there's a minute left.
Racist and homophobic. You're not even gonna know what this nigga is. You can't watch Empire.
That's so funny too. That's another point that a lot of people didn't think about is how did 2 white guys in Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning while black guys going to Subway in polar vortex weather, negative 47, bleach freezes at positive 14. How did these white guys know who Jussie Smollett was? White guys typically don't watch Empire. It's geared for, people of color or however you want to say that. That's politically correct. Ridiculous.
I
Ridiculous.
will never feel sorry for the police, but this time we even felt sorry for the police. Can you imagine if you was a police veteran taking this kid's police report? Okay, Mr. Smollett, please tell me what happened.
This is a funny part too.
All right. 2 a.m. You left the house at 2 a.m. It's minus 16 degrees. Right? You're walking. All right. And where?
Just hilarious. Okay, I'm going to break this up. There's 51 more seconds to this.
Where are you going? Subway. Sandwiches? That's when the men approached you? Did you see them? Do you have any? Okay, what do they have on? MAGA hats. MAGA hats on in
Very funny, guys. Very funny.
Excuse me 1 second, Mr. Snail. Yeah. Frank, come here for a second. Find out where Kanye West was last night.
All right, guys, that's the rest of that. Yeah, JC says America does not need a damn government. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, player says Jesse. It's Jesse is not a very good actor. Totally agree with that too. Juicy Smollett, the famous French actor from Empire. All right, getting back to our topic here. Let me refocus on the text. Kamala Harris. All these broken hearts. Let's see. Yeah, hashtag mass shooting is trending now. Come on. Thanks, Mother Clucker. I'll get to the super chats later. All right, I'm gonna get this thing back in focus. It was perfect before I went back. See, when there's movement, it tries to. Come on, you can do it. All right, what do we got here? All right, if I touch a particular place on the screen, it seems like it's okay. Interesting. So mass shooting right here. Mass shooting is trending. Hashtag mass shooting. Be interesting to look at that trend. So Kamala Harris' heart is broken. We need gun safety reform. Just a euphemism for people control. It's a euphemism on top of a euphemism for gun control. Andrew Yang, of course, people like Andrew Yang because he of all the Democratic hopefuls, him and man, I always get a blank on the chick from Hawaii. Help me out, guys. The chick from Hawaii. I don't know why. I have a serious mental block. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard. Thanks. I'm gonna shout you out, Carla. Thanks. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard, because they come off as way more, infinitely more intelligent than anybody else, guys. You have to admit. Yeah, this is part of the left-right paradigm dog and pony show under the big tent of statism. But Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard come off as like they have brains in their head. But that's just another layer of deception because Andrew Yang wants to give every man, woman, and child over the age of 18 $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. It works out to like $3 trillion a year to give people just free money. It's ludicrous, it's unsustainable, and more importantly, it's immoral to steal money from one class of people and give it to another class. Even if you're doing it indiscriminately, it's still immoral to steal money from one group and give it to another. So Andrew Yang says the Odessa shooting is horrific. Not only that, Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard are 100% for gun control, people control. That makes them in and of themselves evil, guys. You don't have to know anything. Yeah, Tulsi's also, she either was or still is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Thanks, Affiliate Pro. That's another good reminder. I've gone over that in a couple of videos. She is CFR. She is Council on Foreign Relations. She is an underling of people like Henry Kissinger. The Odessa shooting is horrific. People shot randomly in a shopping center for no reason. My heart grew. Yeah, people did it. Guns didn't do it. My heart goes out, if that's true, this is alleged. My heart goes out to the families. There's another heart of the dead and wounded, including our brave law enforcement officers. We must do all we can to curb the scourge of gun violence in this country. There is no scourge. There is no epidemic. And there is no gun violence. Period. Andrew Yang again. We are the only country that struggles with gun violence at this level. Is that true? Let's say it is true. So what? That doesn't give you, Andrew Yang or Tulsi Gabbard or Elizabeth Warren or any of you yahoos, Bernie Sanders, the moral right to steal our property, i.e. a life-saving device called a firearm. Other countries respond to tragedy. We must as well. You know what their response is? Initiating government-sanctioned gun violence on people who haven't done anything wrong. Our people deserve better than to live in fear and be struck down at random. We are better than this. How many times have you heard this? We will do better for our kids. Mayor Bill de Blasio weighs in. Gosh, never thought he'd weigh in. They'll send thoughts and prayers to Odessa and Midland like they did after El Paso. They'll stall and wait out the anger like they do every time. We have to break the cycle. We need leaders to lead. Mitch McConnell, bring the Senate back to pass common sense gun control. Now, he just hits right to it. But, you know, he says gun control, but it's really people. Mitch McConnell, bring back people control now. Thanks, Bill de Blasio, for weighing in, because we know that you really care about people. Guys, if you believe that people like Bill de Blasio and Andrew Yang and Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and all these yahoos, I'm waiting for Bernie. Where did Bernie wait? Maria Shriver. Oh, Maria Shriver, former wife of. Wow. Okay. Hey guys, are you okay? Do you guys want to keep going? This is pretty interesting. The reason I'm doing this is it's instructive. I want people to watch these videos that I make and see that none of these people that are tweeting care about you. They do not care. They are part of the club. They're part of the big club, and you ain't in it. They're trying to control you with their words. This is mind manipulation. This is psychological operations. This is wanting you to be cemented in your own cognitive dissonance. Are we good? You want to keep going? Somebody says, okay, Mrs. J.B. Howard says keep going. Yeah, keep going. Andrew needs to spend some time in Tegucigalpa. Hey, has anybody ever been to Tegucigalpa? And the reason I ask is because I've been to Tegucigalpa. That is a pretty sad place. I've also been to a lot of parts in Russia. I was in Russia in 1994 and Tegucigalpa in 1996. It's horrible, and it makes you think, man, I'm so thankful to be in America. We have so many things that other people don't have, but the politicians are trying to take every good thing that we have away from us. Yeah. Love for greatness. If you're talking about Andrew Yang, it's $1,000. Trying to give $1,000 a month to every man, woman, and child in America because we're going to automation is his excuse. Our jobs are being automated away. That's his mantra. Let's see if I'm learning this phone. This is basically a new phone. Trying to get it focused for you guys. Darn it. What the heck is going on with my phone? I don't know, man. Come on in here and try to help me with this phone. I ain't got no clue. Sometimes that's how I feel. No brains in my head. Yeah, man, keep going. Okay, I'll keep going with this. Man, guys, thanks for hanging out. This is awesome. Just the technology that we have. We can all be in the same room. You could be in Australia or New Zealand or Germany or Texas or Florida or communistic Fornia or Maine or Alaska, and we could all be in the same room together, swapping thoughts, correcting each other with truth, brainwashing each other with truth. There is good brainwashing, by the way. All right, let's see. What is wrong with my throat? We got a torrential downpour last night, guys. It was like a rain bomb. All right, I'm gonna get this thing focused. Focus. I shouldn't have turned the camera around. All right, what's going on here? What if I did that right there? I want to know what Bernie Sanders said about this. What do you think? What do you think Bernie Sanders said about this? Come on. We're looking for quality here. The American people are the creditors to this nation. Government is the debtor. They spin it. Says Slim Frank. Cool emojis, by the way, man. Now it's not even wanting to autofocus. Let me see something here. Come on, stay in frame. All right, what if I did this? What if I moved the screen? This sucks, man. I really got to get OBS up. I tried it last night. It seemed to have audio issues. All All right. Well, sorry that you can kind of read it. Sorry about that. I like crisp and clear. Maybe I'm OCD or something. Tom Perez says, my heart breaks. God, what the heck is this about the hearts? For the victims, families, and first responders, and all those affected by today's tragedy in Odessa and Midland. By the way, this is still under the hashtag let's just call it hashtag for people control. That's what it is. May we honor them and all those we've lost to gun violence, not simply with thoughts and prayers, but with action. Yeah, that action is gun violence. And the reason for this video, guys, is all these people are deceptively calling for more gun violence to curb gun violence. That's the insanity of this whole thing. Maria Shriver, former wife of Arnold Schwarzenegger, it seems you cannot watch the news these days without hearing about yet another mass shooting in our country. It's really bothering me. This isn't focused for you guys. This is really bothering me. Is that better? What if I tilted? They call these smartphones. I'm not so sure though. The fact that we can't get gun reform is beyond inexcusable. I'd prefer if everyone running for president just focus on this one thing for once. 2.8 thousand likes. Seems like she would have more than that. Chucky Schumer. Here's Chucky. Our thoughts are with the victims, their families, and everyone injured. It's almost like they feel obligated to weigh in on Twitter, and if they don't, their base gets mad at them. It's just ridiculous. It's all robotic. Thank you to the first responders who risked their lives to stop the threat. Senate Majority Leader should bring up House Resolution 8 the week Congress returns. We must end gun violence. Amy Klobuchar, more shootings, more tragic losses again in Texas. And that's what I was going to say before is they put this in basically a open carry state of Texas to show, aha, see, even when they have guns, it doesn't work. So we need to throw more laws on the fire, more gas on the fire to stop all these gun problems from happening. Restrict people even more. That'll fix it. I wanted us to go back to work in the Senate weeks ago to pass the bills to start fixing this. Bills don't fix anything, guys. They make things worse. They didn't. No more of the same playbook. 1, promises made. 2, NRA meeting. 3, promises broken. We need to act. Tom Steyer, Adam Best, Congressman Tim Ryan. How many more lives, families, and communities need to be torn apart before Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump decide to act? Enough is enough. Oh gosh, I can't even say this guy's name. You know who he is, right? Texas. How many followers does he have now? You see that? He's got almost 1 million followers on Twitter, guys. Testimony to the brain dead zombies in our world. Texas, we are with you. We can only end this violence by every American working to create a nation united against gun violence and for peace. 10,000, almost 11,000 likes. Oh, Andrew Gillum. We need more good guys with votes, not guns. Tell me that the next time you're in your house and 5 assailants have entered your house, 5 armed assailants. We need more votes, not guns. Don't call a good guy with a gun, call a good guy with votes. That's ridiculous. You need to tell me that Andrew Gillum, if he's in his house with his family and armed intruders come in, he's going to want good guys with the votes, not guns. No, he's going to actually, even this guy, all these guys will wish they had a life-saving device when that thing goes down. And yet they're going to sit there and try to regulate that away from the rest of us. Nonsense. That's the only way to stop mass gun violence. Yeah, votes are the only way to stop mass gun violence. That right there is the stupid internet comment of the day. What does he say? The only way to stop mass gun violence is by voting. That's the only way, guys. The only way you're going to stop mass gun violence is go to the voting booth. How brain dead can you get? There's no intelligence there. Nothing. The lights aren't even on, and nobody's home, and the elevator doesn't go all the way to the top, and there's dust in the attic. It's like brains. Who are the zombies that follow these people? And look at this. The worst part is not what Andrew Gillum said. It's how many people liked what he said. Look at this. 26,000 likes, 5,000 retweets. Horrible. Hashtag mass shooting is going up now. Category 5 hurricane. Manufactured storm. The government who wants to save us from gun violence is helping to manufacture a storm that's about to wipe out a lot of people on the East Coast, in Florida and the Carolinas. Gosh, I don't know who shared my statement on today's events in Texas. Who cares? Here's what that cop said. We went over that yesterday. Come on, man. Come on, focus. I need to stop switching the camera. You guys don't need to see my ugly mug anyway. You got to be kidding me. Let's go. Focus. Focus. This is stupid. Really stupid. Are we good, guys? Thanks, Fall of Home. I'll deal with the super chats a little bit later. I really appreciate it. Put your hand in front of the camera. It focuses on real life well, but it doesn't. Maybe it just can't deal with the pixels, but that doesn't make any sense because sometimes it can focus on the pixels. Oh, wait, did it almost do it? Shoot. Oh boy. Sorry guys. I want to give you good content. This is just not working. You know, it amazes me. People must be way smarter than me because I see people do live streams all the time. No problem. No problem at all. They got their OBS working. They got all the fancy stuff. I do not want to waste your time, guys. I am sorry about this. Somebody says Tulsi Gabbard is not listed. Who says this? Gosh, I can't pronounce that name. Pezzo Navante 916. Tulsi Gabbard is not listed on the current CFR membership roster. Now she was, because when I did the video, I showed a screen capture of it, and she was. If she was a member and had her name removed to run for president, is that not misleading on her part? Yeah, it absolutely is. You can go look at. I have 2 videos on Tulsi Gabbard, and one of those I actually show that she is on the CFR roster. I wonder if it has to do with angle on this thing. Tulsi Gabbard was definitely a part of the Council on Foreign Relations. And I think that's one of those Hotel California things where you can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. You can never leave. This is what drives me crazy about this is I know it can focus. I know it can focus. And then it doesn't. Let me blow it up just a little bit then. Let's see. This is just, I'm going to spend some time today and try to do OBS, guys. Well, anybody interested in a live stream later today? I'm going to use my girlfriend's computer because my resources are tapped. I got to get a desktop or something like that. I want to give you guys excellent quality. I want to make videos that you guys want to share with other people. That's why I definitely don't want to waste your time because we have a message that needs to get out to the world. And it's basically a message of common sense. It's a message based on logic and truth. And if at any point I'm just going to turn this around. This is ridiculous. If at any point we are wrong on something, we're willing to admit we're wrong. Truth fears no scrutiny. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of people trying to manipulate me, trying to manipulate my family, trying to manipulate you guys. Are we frozen? That's another thing I'm sick of. Freezing. Let me refresh this. It says 367 on here. Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. All right, give me a second, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll up to see if you guys are still chatting. How did I get that far behind? Okay, good. Just admit you're boomer tech. I am technologically inept. I will admit that right now. Hey, you know what might work? You know what might work? I'm in California. I can barely own a BB gun legal. You know what, Jose? I feel you, man, brother. I lived in Lancaster for 2001 until 2008, and you could not build a storage shed in your backyard without it being regulated and having to get an inspector out there. It was really ridiculous, very, very oppressive. Almost like it's sometimes you didn't feel like you were in America. In my area in Lancaster, and I lived on the east side, East Lancaster, you heard helicopters every night. I'm not talking every other night. Police helicopters were circling every freaking night. It was a Crips and Bloods thing. People were always saying, the Crips and Bloods are trying to move in the neighborhood and take over. No kidding. Yeah, they really were. It was you heard gunfire every night and helicopters every night. I don't know if they were running the police dogs. I didn't know that, but I was the I hate to say victim, but I was the yeah, I mean it is victimized when people are stealing stuff out of your car and stuff. It was happening all the time to my neighborhoods, and I didn't live in a bad neighborhood. We got out of there, and then that stupid judge from this is back in 2000, February of 2008. Yeah, it was February 2008. This judge, this circuit court judge in California, I think it was Northern California, declared homeschooling illegal. This was like illegal, and we homeschooled our kids, and it's like, screw that, we're out of here. I'm not sticking around. So we did an internet search for the freest state, the freest county, as far as regulation wise, less regulations. And we found Cherokee County, Oklahoma, landed in Tahlequah, and within our state constitution, as if that matters, is other means of education, which actually gives you another layer of protection, against truancy or whatever kind of crap they want to use on you to get your kids enrolled into the public school government indoctrination system. Well, we weren't going to do that though. There's no way. Over my dead body, my kids are going to public school, and I am serious about over my dead body. Screw that. So we were out of California. So I feel you, Jose. I'm level 78 barbarian. I don't know what that means. Will you talk more about homeschool in the future? Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm homeschooling my sons. Awesome, Mrs. JB Howard. Starting with your oldest child. Awesome. There's no better teacher than you, Miss JB Howard, or any of you guys. If you're a parent, you are the best teacher for your child's life. You know why? Because you have a vested interest in that, in the upbringing of that child. You want that child to grow up to be wise. You want that child to grow up to be knowledgeable. You want that child to grow up to be loving and compassionate. You don't want your child to be cold. That's why you are the best, and you don't want that child to be cookie cutter. It's like, here, you need to comply, you need to obey, you need to do your answers right. The Common Core, you're going to do math like this. This is the way you're going to do it. It's beyond. School is beyond reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's the formative years. You're forming the character of your child. You are pouring yourself into them, and you're increasing the whole time. It's like there's this proverb. It says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another." You're sharpening your kid. You're putting a fine blade on them. You're teaching them in the martial arts, the arts of self-defense, not just for themselves, not so they can be the baddest ass on the street. You're training them in martial arts and how to defend themselves and bob and weave and all that kind of stuff. And I'm totally serious about this. If you're training your kid in homeschool, train them in the art of self-defense. Train them how to be knowledgeable and how to apply that knowledge, which is exactly what wisdom is. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. It's how you walk out knowledge and live knowledge. Train them how to eat right, get the right foods. It's like all this stuff, and it's super, super simple. Homeschooling does not have to be complex. And not only will your kid be smart, but have you ever met a homeschool kid? You can pick them out of the crowd. They're the ones with the bright, shining smiles. They don't have this glazed look over their face like there's some kind of zombie cookie cutter like everybody else. And I'm not saying that you can't pull yourself out of that as a product of the public school indoctrination system. I'm a product of the public school indoctrination system, but you're not cemented in that. It's just that puts you way behind the 8 ball. And now you have to unlearn all the stuff that they taught you in public schools, because most of it is just absolute BS. That's why you're giving your homeschool. I don't even like calling it homeschooling. It's like home education. It's like hands-on. This is how we live life. This is how we become responsible human beings. This is how you become a giving person. This is how, you're basically teaching them it's the art of not being fake. You're not a fake person. You're a real person. This is who you are. What you see is WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. If I'm a person here on camera and when the camera's off, I'm a totally different person. I am fake. I am fake. Fake is a $3 bill. But if you're the same person consistently, and you're not modifying your behavior. Now, I'm not saying that there's certain things, like you wouldn't tell a joke at a funeral. I'm not saying that kind of stuff. I'm talking about your character. You're molding. What is there? I can't think of a more important job. I don't care about nuclear physics, rocket science, mathematician, whatever. There is no more important job than raising your kids. You know why? Because you're actually forming and shaping not just that kid's character, you're forming and shaping the character of not just the United States, because, you guys could be watching from, Zaire or something. You're forming the character of somebody in the world who's going to be a freaking light in the darkness. And that's what we need, is beams of light coming up from the earth. Oh, that's a beam of light. That's a beam of light. Why? Because you're not initiating unjust force and violence of peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. You don't think you have a higher claim over the life and property of other people. You're knowledgeable in self-defense. You're probably armed wherever you go. If you're not armed, because you can't be armed for whatever reason, which I wouldn't suggest going into any situation where you can't be armed. Now, I'm not saying don't go to airports or whatever. Not a good idea to go armed in an airport, by the way. You're going to find yourself in a cage real quick, and that's sad. But that's our reality, and you have to go with what you got. Is anything that I'm saying making sense? So yeah, Miss JB, that's awesome. Yeah, home educate your child. Always armed. Yeah, and there's some situations, Brad the Feared, where you're gonna be in a situation one day where you can't be armed. But are you gonna be ready? You got to be ready. It's not. Maybe you got to hop on that flight because your dad died in Boston or something, and you got to get there, or he's on his last breath, and you can't drive because he probably won't make it, and then you got to go through that airport, and you're not going to be armed. So thanks, Fall of Home. Let me read this super chat. Single motherhood destroys children more than anything. It can. It doesn't have to, but it is tough. Yeah, the child needs their father. You take the father away and replace him with government, literally Plato's communist republic. I agree. But look at the despair you would strike into a mother's heart if you said, yeah, you're a single mom. Oh, your kid's finished. No hope. Seriously, no. You can overcome that. I guarantee it will be more difficult without a father in this situation. Fatherless homes create some very, very bad outcomes. Because here's one of the things is, it's a single parent home. It's the mother. She's at work, so she's not around her kids because she can't be. She has to feed the child. She has to clothe the child. She has to. It sucks, man. It sucks. Literally no hope in being a single parent. I don't agree with that. Five finger five. Don't agree with that. It can be done. If women weren't, not all women are psychotic. I hate the broad brush thing. It's like, speak against the Jays, speak against the Jays. The Jays are the world's problem. No, Zionists are the world's problem. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. It doesn't matter what your color is. If you want to initiate unjust force and violence of people who haven't done anything wrong, you are a bad person. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what your creed is. It doesn't matter. All Jays aren't bad people, and all women aren't psychotic. I disagree with that. Just a joke. Calm down. Oh, okay, Ethan. I didn't know you were joking, man. I didn't know. I thought I was being trolled. So you triggered me, Ethan. Man, you triggered me real bad. I got real triggered. Calm down. I appreciate it, man. Ethan, talk to me, man. Jew is not a race. I shouldn't have said the J word. Now, wait a minute, Brian. You're getting a little silly about the woman thing. You guys are trying to trigger, man, boy, I'm so triggered. All right, guys, let's I don't know. You guys want to keep going? I got more stuff, but man, I'm pretty disheartened about this tech stuff here. Real quick update. You want to keep going? If I get I'll have to get a lot of thumbs up to keep going because I don't want one person to speak for everybody. Give me a thumbs up. If I get 50 thumbs up, I'll keep going because I don't want to waste your time, guys. It's Sunday. You probably got things to do. Thumbs up only counts once even if you give me 50 on one. Okay, let's see. Do we have 50? I appreciate you guys weighing in. Read my damn super chats. I'll get to him, tongue speaker. Stream all day. I may come back later, guys, because I intend to get this OBS thing going. But I really wanted to stay out ahead of this gun control thing. Okay, I got at least 50. All right, I'll keep going. I wanted to give you a real quick update. I don't know if you can see. Hey, you know what? Let me see if this works. I'm going to turn this around on my front-facing camera. Move this chair right here. Is this appearing backwards or forwards to you guys? Is that backwards or forwards? Because to me, it looks like it's backwards. Is the writing in reverse? Can you guys see the writing? It's right. Oh, it is forwards. God, that's weird because I'm looking at it on the camera and it's backwards, and it's clear, right? It looks clear to me, even if I came forward on it. I guess there's no focusing on the front-facing camera. Oh, cool. You can do it like that. All right, cool. I'll do it like that. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you weighing in. All right, so I wanted to give you a real quick update on what me and Trish are going to do on September 12th. And thank you. I cannot remember who sent this to me, but thank you very, very much. This is the Active Shooter Threat Instructor Training Program. Guys, I signed up for this. This is happening right down the street from me. Here's the description. I hope none of these Fort Gibson police subscribe to my channel because I probably won't be allowed into this thing. But I really want to be. My goal is to just find out what the heck goes on inside an active shooter training program. I've read about it, but I've never experienced it myself. And I want to give you guys a bird's eye view. And thank you to Pale Horse Rider or Pale Rider Horse. I can't remember how your screen name is, but he contributed $50 so I could get some spy glasses because I want to record. It says you can't, but I'm not a rule follower in this vein right here. I want to document this stuff, and so I want to get a pair of glasses for myself and Trish. So I really appreciate those contributions. But here's the thing: I think they're a good pair. The best pair I've seen is like $175, and the resolution's good. It's got a pretty good battery life, and the audio's good. It can shoot in 1080p. One of them can shoot for like 2 hours. Really good stuff. Okay, September 11th and 12th, 2019, the Fort Gibson Police Department, in conjunction with the Northeastern State University Police Department, that's right down the street from me, will be hosting the federal, this is federal, not state, Law Enforcement Training Center's Active Shooter Threat Instruction Training Program Certification Practicum. Due to the course requirements, we will be needing multiple civilian role players. Guys, what's a role player? I'm not going to say the word, but I am going to type it on the screen. Well, what do you guys think? What's a synonymous phrase for role player? I can't say it because it'll trip an algo. Role player is a something actor. Starts with a C. Yeah, actor. Haven't seen it yet. Yes. Yes, Seth. Who said that? Saki? Yeah, exactly. That actor. That kind of actor. Refer to Seth or Saki. So they're looking for these role players to aid in the creation of multiple simulated events. I want to see what those simulated events are and like what's their answer for this? You know what one of the answers isn't. Okay, so now if you arm yourself, if you grab a firearm and you train yourself in its use and you become proficient at it, then you will be the most safe. And that's the best hope for survival in an active shooter situation. They're not going to say that. And that right there, to me, is evil. It's evil not to suggest that. At least that be one of the options. Oh, and by the way, we're government. We're going to get out of your way. So whatever weapon you want to protect yourself, that's the way it's going to be. No, they're not going to say that. Be nice, but that's not how it works. Must be 18 years of age, or a Fort Gibson police explorer with a signed waiver. Not a current member of the media or affiliated with the media. I'm not. Agree that no photos or video will be taken during the training time. Can't agree to that. In good standing with law enforcement and mentally sound. Yes. Willing to follow guidance from the instructional staff. Depends on what you're talking about. Stay in assigned roles and responsibilities. No problem. Actor will be required to bring and wear eye protection during the simulation events. Eye protection? Those aren't spy glasses. No, they're just eye protection. That's all it is eye protection, not spy glasses. Shh. Actors will be required. The instructional staff and hosting agencies retain the right to deny participation to any volunteer for any reason. Now, I doubt. See, we're an hour and 42 minutes into this video. I doubt any of them even watch my videos, let alone make it through an hour and 42 minutes of a video to find that. So I think I'm going to be pretty safe on that. But my intention is to infiltrate their ranks and find out what exactly is going on. You know, like an agent of good. They have agents of bad all the time. Why not just have agents of good? FAQs, are there minimum ages? Let's see. Transportation parking contact organizer. Do I have to bring a printed ticket to the event? No, however, you must get a ticket for each session you plan on attending. I plan on attending all the sessions that they have because I want to see what their tactics are. Now, if you guys remember, anytime they have one of these active shooter drills or these civilian participation scenarios, well, I can't say anytime, but a high percentage of the time, something happened either a day after or the day of. You remember what happened to that school in Connecticut, starting with the SH? I'm not going to say that because that'll trip an algo. But there was literally a FEMA active shooter drill happening 20 minutes down the road, and those are the guys that became the first responders. On September 10th, 2001, FEMA was in Manhattan conducting these kind of drills, and then boom, a day later, that event happened where not just 2 towers fell, but a 3rd tower fell at 5:20 p.m. that night, that evening, and wasn't even struck by a plane. That would be the 47-story steel frame office structure known as Building 7. Right. Building 7 was claimed to have fallen 20 minutes before it actually fell when Jane Stanley from the BBC got on there, and in the Manhattan skyline in the background, as she was saying Building 7, the Solomon Brothers building had fallen, was still standing. So there was inside information on that. People can call other people a conspiracy theorist all they want, but that right there is rock solid proof that insider information was going on left and right that day. That is ridiculous. They knew that building was going to fall. They just reported on it prematurely. And that's why I don't have any respect for somebody like Tim Pool. I mean, let's just be out with it. Tim Pool is very, very popular. Very popular. He'll upload a video, and within 2 minutes, he'll have 15,000 views. Within 3 hours, he'll have 120,000 views. And at the end of the day, he averages like 250,000 views, and he literally believes the official story of 9/11. That's the kind of person that's feeding you the news. It's filtering through somebody who believes the official story. Bogus. There's way too many things that went on in that day. There's way too much evidence to to make somebody believe in the official story legitimately. We could talk about Tim Pool. I'm not slamming the guy. I'm just telling the truth. He believes the official story. Tim, you believe the official story. That's nonsense. The official story has so many holes in it. The official story is so bogus that they got this thick 9/11 commission report and they don't even mention Building 7. Oh yeah, it was just a 47-story steel frame office structure that experienced global, symmetric, catastrophic collapse within its own footprint and wasn't even hit by a plane, but we're not going to mention that in the 9/11 report. Really? Really? Tim Pool is a sorry excuse for a journalist, says Wilson. I'm just the popularity of some people. If you look at Tim Pool's, let's talk about Tim Pool. And the reason I do this, guys, and I know people are going to be out there going, you're just jealous of his success. Honestly, I'm not looking for success. I'm looking to get out a message, and I will die trying to get out this message. And people can believe me or not, but you have to talk about the popularity of people who are actually forming thoughts and ideas and resting on ideologies in their minds because of these people. Tim Pool has great influence. And what's that? What is that quote from Spider-Man? I think it comes from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility, or something like that. Let's just talk. I'm going to go over I'm going to go over Tim Pool's stats here. It's very telling. Press for Truth is good. And I don't want people to believe me. I want you to, and truth doesn't demand that you believe it. It demands that you accept it. Truth is not based on belief. You don't have to, belief is based on nothing. Truth doesn't demand that you believe based on nothing. Truth is truth. Tim Pool, I don't even know. He has 2 channels. Another thing about Tim Pool is you'll see an average of 250,000 on one channel, but he'll have an average of 400,000. He's got 2 channels. One's called Timcast that has 512,000 subscribers. See that? Meteorically. Look at his views. 235 million views, 112 million views on this. Meteoric rise. I'm gonna open a new tab on that and a new tab on this. Those are separate channels. We'll look at his stats right here. He is averaging on this channel alone 349,000 views a day and 1,000 subscribers a day. I don't know if you can see that, but look at his chart. For a long time, from October 2016, he was like right here. He got the most amount of views. It's 3.1 million views. And then he was fumbling along for about a year. And then all of a sudden, see, he's only averaging 708,000 views right there. Watch this. This is meteoric. This is almost parabolic in YouTube terms. 5 million views a month, 7 million views a month, 6 million, up to 11 million views a month. Monthly subs, 74,000 subs in that one day. That's just on one channel. Here's his other channel. This channel averages 986,000 views a day, guys. 986,000 views. Where his meteoric rise came from, I think, is after the Joe Rogan podcast, although it was going up a little bit before then. But look at this. And this is a one-man show. He's a one-man show. It goes from 1 million views, 2 million. Look, it's just parabolic. 9 million views a month, 18 million, 27 million. He's currently averaging almost 30 million views a month. Subs, you got 94,000 subs that month. And the reason I bring up Tim Pool, it's very instructive, is that he has great influence, just like Steven Crowder has influence. But the ideology they push is the statist ideology, and I will stand alone on this, guys. If you're for any level of statism, you're literally for the initiation of violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. Heavy or light, it doesn't matter. Either you're against the initiation of unjust violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong, or you're for it. There's no in between. There is no compromise. And the reason our country is in the shape it's in right now, and the reason the world's in the shape it's in right now, is because we've backed off on morality, doing those things which are right. One of the right things that we stop doing is just speaking the truth. If you speak the truth, you will change society. I'm totally convinced of that. Am I against Tim Pool the person, or a Steven Crowder the person, or a Caitlin Bennett the person? No, but I would urge them to look at statism very seriously. People will write off anarchists or voluntarists as, people who don't have they don't have a plan of action. Yeah, the plan of action is tell the truth, live the truth, expose lies, do those things which are right, do to others what you'd want done to you, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. It's very simple. But when people don't live like that, then they succumb to the official story, things like the official story of 9/11. It's BS. And I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, but I kind of shy away from it because people do go, well, you're just jealous of his success. I don't care. I don't care about people's success. And I'm not personally trying to be successful. I'm not trying to make, if I wanted to make a whole lot of money on YouTube, then I'd be doing the stuff that Jake or Logan Paul do. I'd be a Jake or Logan Paul. I'd be in that genre. I'd be doing what PewDiePie does. It's easy to do that stuff. It's easy not to confront the truth. It's easy not to deal with the things that needs to be dealt with and done. It's so easy. Freaking easy. Ridiculously easy. You're not just, we know he's propped up. I don't know if he's propped up. I know he came from Vice. I don't know what's propping him up. As far as I know, he's a one-man show. He's doing it all. He works hard. He's been a hard worker, but he's working hard toward things. Tim Pool, if you're watching, I would love to have you on a live stream. I would love to talk to you about Snail. I'm not saying Tim Pool's stupid. I'm not saying Steven Crowder's stupid. They're articulate. They're very smart, but they're checked out on this status thing. The biggest problem in our world today, even bigger than the Federal Reserve, guys, even bigger than the IRS, is this idea that people have, and I keep saying it, and you've probably memorized it, I've said it so much, is that people think it's okay to initiate unjust force and violence of peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. If we just spoke the truth, we could deal with climate change because we wouldn't have geoengineers who are manufacturing and steering storms like we have right now with Dorian. People can call that natural all they want. Look at the facts that Mike Morales lays down. Facts, guys. They're lying about wind speeds. They're lying about water temperature. They're lying about where this thing's going. They're lying about how these storms are created. You can see on their own satellite feeds the chemtrails that are crisscrossing, and then 24 hours later, something just starts materializing right there. It's just coincidence, right? You're just a conspiracy theorist, Brian, right? Yeah, they have them. Yeah, you're right. Who said that? They have the moral high ground in their minds. Impact says, no, they have the moral high ground in their minds. Yeah, they do. They do. But if you take them to task on that, oh, I'm a libertarian. Oh, really? You're a libertarian. All right. So do you want any government? Anybody? Oh, yeah. I'm a minarchist. I want limited government. So basically what you're saying is you want minimum the initiation of unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong, because that's what government is. Government literally is mind control. You want limited mind control. I don't want any mind control. I don't want somebody trying to control my mind. I don't want somebody trying to control your mind. Okay. Did somebody say Adam? Adam, who? Adam who? Adam from No More News or Adam Kokesh? Somebody said something about Adam. Yeah, you can see the building over Jane Stanley's shoulders. If you haven't seen that BBC, here, let's just pull it up. Maybe I'm just taking for granted that people have seen this. I mean, I've seen it so much because I've dealt with it and done so many videos on it. But let's pull up Jane Stanley. Let's do a reminder. It's good. Anybody want a reminder of the reality of 9/11? Not the official story, but the reality. BBC Building 7. It's always good to have a reminder. I agree. Q is PSYOP. And you know why I say Q is PSYOP? You can look at it. objectively. Q is psyop because Q is telling us to trust the plan. Well, what's Q's plan? Q's plan is to trust that there are good guys in government who are going to eliminate the bad guys in the deep state government. It's BS. It's just all BS. Q is a psychological operation, guys. I've done a video on it, an extensive video if you guys want to see it. I'm not just talking out this side of my mouth. Let's see, Jane Standley. I think it's Standley. Yeah, there she is. Okay. That's a 7-minute. I just want the clip. Audio cuts out when asked about World Trade 7. BBC reports. Yeah, here we go. Q-Aid. Yeah, don't drink the Q-Aid.
New York have been hit by airplanes. In Washington, there's a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has been evacuated. And there, as you can see, perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing.
Because everybody, once you've seen building 7, there is no way back.
Can you guys see that okay?
You can cheat on yourself, and you can try to suppress it,
There are no words.
but you cannot. You have seen it, and then there's no way back.
Can you see and hear that?
It's not very healthy, to lie to yourself and say, no, I didn't see that. But many people do, because it's simply too painful.
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago, I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. And indeed it has. It seems that this was not a result of a new attack. It was because the building had been weakened during this morning's attacks. We'll probably find out more now about that from our correspondent, Jane Standley. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy. As you can see behind me, the Trade Center appears to be still burning. We see these huge clouds of smoke and ash, and we know that behind that there's an empty piece of what was a very familiar New York skyline, a symbol of the financial prosperity of this city, but completely disappeared now, and New York is still unable to take on board what has happened to them today.
Presumably there were very few people in the Salomon building when it collapsed. I mean, there were, I suppose, fears of possible further collapses around the area.
That's what you would hope, because they don't really know where to turn. And that's the very sad thing. I think there's going to be a lot of very, very traumatized people that has hit them very, very hard.
Jane, I think many of us, when we heard the news, perhaps on the radio earlier today, were completely flabbergasted by it and just couldn't comprehend it. I mean, it almost sounded too far-fetched.
Yeah, too far-fetched.
I was wondering what it felt like for you being in Manhattan. Well, unfortunately, I think we've lost the line with Jane Standley in Manhattan.
Oh, unfortunately.
Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself. Describe that. Now we go to videotape the collapse of this building.
I love what some of these reporters who may not have been clued in on what was going on, I love their first blush reaction to these controlled demolitions.
Amazing, incredible picture word.
Too far-fetched.
For the third time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by world-class dynamite to knock it down.
See what you see and not what you're supposed to see.
I don't even know how somebody, and I've talked to a lot of people about Building 7, and they're like, no, it came down. That's how it would have come down. It's like, but it wasn't hit by a plane. But yeah, but there were fires. Well, if fires brought Building 7 down, then why did demolition companies go through all the trouble to lay the charges in place, the thermite, and be really exact and scientific about that? Why not just throw a bunch of desks and chairs in there and just pour a bunch of diesel all over everything and just wait for a couple hours? That would save them time, energy, money, and education, because they have to educate their engineers on how to actually bring down a building. If it was that easy to bring a building down, don't you think they'd be using those same methods today? Yeah, you dang sure they would. But you got the young Turks out there. I'm not sure what Steven Crowder thinks about Building 7, but we know what Tim Pool thinks about Building 7. He thinks it was brought down because a couple of fires and a couple of stories and a steel-framed office building. Think about it, guys. Global, symmetric, simultaneous collapse. All 47 columns failed at the exact same moment. How could that possibly be? If it did it on one side, it would just go boom and just stop there. All the healthy structure would stay put. And even towers 1 and 2, you have, let's just give them 20%. It wasn't 20%. Let's give them 20% of the top. If all 20% failed and all that weight pushed down on the healthy structure below, there's no physical way that healthy structure would fail like that. Pancaking doesn't do it. It would probably go cum, 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 cum. And that's it. That's it. That's all it would do. All the healthy structure below would just stay intact. It's crazy, man. And the reason I go over 9/11 and the reason 9/11 is so pivotal and so important is because what was spawned from 9/11 was some of the most egregious evil on American soil. You had the Patriot Act. It was penned and written and shoved into law in less than 42 days afterwards. The Patriot Act was shoved into law. It's an acronym for something. I can't remember the entire thing, but the Patriot Act was anything more unpatriotic than the Patriot Act. It spawned the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security to this day costs us $47.5 billion a year. Part of the Department of Homeland Security is the TSA. That costs us $9 billion every year. The TSA is nothing more than security theater because their own red team tests show that 95% of the time, guns and bombs, explosives, real explosives, make them through onto departing flights through the red team test. That's why I have a shirt called the TSA, Department of Homeland Security, nothing more than security theater. It makes people feel like they're comfortable, but they've given away their rights so they can feel safe and secure. It's all a lie. Everything about 9/11 was a lie, except the fact that, yeah, buildings came down. The question is, how did they come down? See, it goes back to what Rahm Emanuel and Hillary Clinton and all these people have admitted. Hey, you never let a good crisis go to waste. And they didn't. Ha ha, beating the war drums. And we have an excuse. Look, 3,500 people died at 9/11. We can't let that go, can we? What kind of people would we be if we let that go? And then everybody, it all becomes, that's why I hate partisan, when they say, well, it's a partisan effort. All the Democrats and all the Republicans, they've united. I don't want them to unite. I want them to both go away. When they unite, it's always uniting against us. Patriot Act. Look how much that costs us every year. Not to mention how much we pay everything, $10.2 million a day for Israel and $60 million a day for NASA. That's just for starters, guys. That's just small potatoes. I can't remember what. I've never done the figures on $47.5 billion a year, what that equates to a day. That's a huge number. $47 billion divided by 365 equals. Okay. The people laugh at Ocasio-Cortez for saying we need to, and let me just preface it. Ocasio-Cortez is a brain dead, checked out, narcissistic, psychopathic political parasite, just like the rest of them. But she did say something right when she said we need to get rid of the Department of Homeland Security. Guys, did you know the Department of Homeland Security cost us $128.7 million a day? How do I get that figure? In the 2019 budget, Trump's 2019 budget, he allotted $47.5 billion a year for the Department of Homeland Security. That's $128 million every single day. How much is that a second? Divided by, well, how much is it a minute? 1440. That's $89,421 a minute. It's costing the United States. It's costing taxpayers to keep the Department of Homeland Security afloat. And all it is security theater. It's not keeping you safe. Actually, it's taking away more of your rights, costing you more money, and keeping you less safe. it's if you just break it down by the numbers, it's so big, it's so immense. $89,000 a minute is so that's just for the Department of Homeland Security. That's not counting $10.2 million a day for Israel, $60 million a day for NASA. It doesn't count any of that stuff. And there's more. These are just three line items. Three items. That's it. $9 billion for TSA. And then you got the it's just BS, man. So the reason I talk about Building 7 and the reason I talk about the 9/11 Commission report and the reason I'm talking about Tim Pool is because it's not because I think I'm greater than Tim Pool. It's that Tim Pool is being disingenuous with a large following that wants to be obedient to what he says. They check their mind out and they want to obey. They're in obedience or worship. They're in this worshipful state for Tim Pool and Steven Crowder. And then when I do a video on that, I get tons of downvotes. It amazes me that my audience thinks I'm pro-Trump and I'm friends with all these people who are basically your enemy. Do I think that Tim Pool does good stuff? Yes, but that's irrelevant. If I gave you a water jug full of pure water and you're a thirsty man, and I'm about to give it to you, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. And I go, wait a second, hold on a second. Let me put a couple drops of arsenic in it, just a little bit of arsenic. They're like, what are you talking about? It tampers with the purity and turns this, what was a good thing, into poison. I'm not so interested in what we agree on or the truth that's spoken. I'm interested in what lies are you mixing in there? That's the important thing. Yeah, it's important that this be pure, but if it's not, then we need to unearth the reason why it isn't, and we need to get rid of it. Otherwise, you can't drink it. That made me thirsty. So it's not so much I'm against personalities. I'm against what these personalities are trying to foist on everybody without their knowing it. Because people are so sheeple-like, and we all have that in us. We all want to just turn our minds off and just veg in front of the TV and let somebody do the thinking for us. You got to look around. It's almost like me and my girlfriend can't enjoy a movie because it's like, yeah, that's horrible acting. Oh gosh, what kind of agenda are they slipping in there? We usually fall asleep during movies, don't we?
First 10 minutes.
Huh? First what?
First 10 minutes.
First 10 minutes, I know.
Sleeping pill.
It's like I've been trying to go through the end game, and you would not believe how many subliminal agenda driven scenes are in that movie. It's ridiculous. One of them was Tony Stark goes, I wanted to armor the armor around the world. Remember that? Because we didn't implement my plan of armor around the world. That he wanted to put these ships in the air where it singled out people and got rid of the bad guys or whatever, kind of like what they're doing with the red flag laws or the TAPS Act, where you just kind of broad brush everybody. That's why I hate universal background checks, because it broad brushes everybody and just assumes everybody's a criminal under the guise of we can't let the good guys have the guns. It basically criminalizes everybody. I might do, Minority Report, exactly. That's the only thing AOC was right about. I don't know about that. She can be right about stuff, but the interesting thing is they'll roll out an AOC or a Rashida Tlaib, and they'll have them say truthful things, and then the people on the other side, because it's all partisan politics, have to go against it because, oh my gosh, what would my friends think if I agreed with something that Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar or AOC said? Oh my gosh, I'd be ousted from my comfortable little group. And so really, they're not interested in truth. They're interested in saying the right things in their group, which usually aren't right things. They're the exact wrong thing. That's why I bring up Tim Pool. That's why I bring up his stats. That's why I bring up the popularity of Steven Crowder, because they're trying to shove the same stuff. While they condemn the left, and Tim Pool does condemn the left, and he calls them out, while Steven Crowder condemns the left, they are doing the exact same thing. How so? It's in a different shade. It's a different shade of darkness, because they're wanting still the initiation of unjust force on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. Tim Pool likes the idea of universal health care. What is universal health care? It's literally extorting people who are innocent and peaceful and giving that money to other people. It's creating that class system. And that's what we got to get away from. And we can do it by brainwashing our minds with the truth, period. And then they brush it off and go, oh, Yeah, he's against me because of Building 7. Hey, Building 7 is a big deal. Building 7 is a freaking big deal, man. Because if Building 7 went down under controlled demolition, then maybe, just maybe, there's some other lies. There's some other inconsistencies. There's some other nefarious activities to bring about the Patriot Act, to go to war, to increase the budget of the military-industrial complex, to put a president behind the podium that says, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. It's a big deal. Building 7 is a big deal. The dropping of 1 and 2 is a big deal. They wouldn't have gone down like that. And you don't have to be oh, Brian, are you an engineer? You got a degree in engineering? Then shut up. No, you don't have to be an engineer to know that healthy structure doesn't just crumble like a bunch of little twigs. All the firemen, all the eyewitnesses, I remember that fireman going, yeah, it was like it pancakes, like you heard the explosions, boom, 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 boom. It's almost like they were trying to bring it down by a controlled demolition. His words, not mine. No, it's not almost like they were trying to bring it down by a controlled demolition. They brought it down by a controlled demolition. And I see what you're saying, space within. No planes hit the building. I'm not convinced of that. The holograms and stuff like that. You don't even have to go there. Something hit those buildings. Was it a drone aircraft? Was it Flight 11? Was it Flight 93? It doesn't matter. The bottom line is, and it's almost like, it's kind of like these, well, was that a false flag or was that a real event? Did people really get shot or did they not? It doesn't matter. What are they trying to bring about because of this? What is it that they're trying not to let go to waste? This is it's obviously a crisis, at least in the minds of people. What are they trying to bring about through this crisis? Can't let a good crisis go to waste. But you're a conspiracy theorist if you think that there are people out there that don't want a good crisis to go to waste and would actually lead us into war by an event like 9/11. Yeah, I'm the conspiracy theorist. Building 7 is a big deal. 9/11 is a big deal. The Patriot Act was a big deal. ACA, the Affordable Care Act, was a big deal. Obamacare was a big deal. You remember Obamacare? Oh, Chief Justice Roberts will never let. He's a Republican appointee. He's conservative. And the only reason we got Obamacare is because of that deciding vote by Chief Justice, Republican, conservative, Bush administration appointee, John Roberts. Thanks, John. And people are like, oh, come on. How are you going to change the world unless you become a Republican? How are you going to change the world unless you get on the side of the conservatives? Well, because you can't change the world in a positive way by becoming a liar. You'd have to become a part of the GOP or on the other side, the DNC. And they're both controlled parties. Yeah, it's a controlled demo. Architects and engineers from 9/11 answered that question. Yeah, you don't even, they're great organization, got a lot of good documentation. I would highly suggest going to architects and engineers from 9/11, but you don't even need to know that. Just look at Building 7. That's all you need. Building 7. Nobody's peeing in the background. That's Trish filling up her water bottle. So just to let you know. Hey, New Zealand. Mandy from New Zealand. Okay, couple shout outs. Let's do some super chats. Thank you guys for sticking around, guys. Gosh, 2 hours and 13 minutes. Are you guys still okay? Thumbs up if you're still okay. Let me refresh the screen here. Yep, 9/11 was an inside job. No doubt about it. Zero doubt. Zero. So when you become, with great power comes great responsibility. With a wide audience comes great responsibility. And if you have a wide audience, you have great power, whether you realize it or not. You know who's got great power? PewDiePie has great power. 100 million followers on PewDiePie, and he's basically wasting. Do you know the world-changing information PewDiePie could get out there if he actually activated his mind? And he wouldn't even have to lose many subscribers. He could just be PewDiePie, but and just drop a couple of truth bombs along the way. Just throw a couple truth seeds out there. He could change everything. Hey guys, before I sign out today, take a look at Building 7 and let me show you this crazy thing. Can you imagine the eyes that would just open up? An audience of 100 million? As soon as he hits upload, he gets 1 million views just like that. Talk about influence. They would shut that guy down in a heartbeat. Dang. So with a wide audience comes great responsibility. And if you have a wide audience, you have a lot of power. And if you have that power and you abuse your power like Tim Pool's doing, like Steven Crowder's doing, and playing this left versus right paradigm crap that's leading us further and further down the slippery slope of tyranny, you're guilty. You're guilty of propagating the very thing that you say you hate when you come out against leftists. Okay, let me start from the first super chats for today. Snapzilla Gorilla. Brian, what's up? What's up, Goody? What's Goody? Let's keep making people aware of the truth behind gun control. He says more and more people are waking up. The horse is alive. Yeah, and we got to keep beating that horse. Thanks, Snapzilla Gorilla. That's Snap Turtle YouTube channel. Ben Schwagel says, I say we stop calling the elites and start calling them parasites like they are. Also, your view on these shootings being orchestrated and used. Also, what are my views on these shootings being orchestrated and used? As far as the orchestration, I don't know how orchestrated and planned it is, but to me, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. And you can get yourself into trouble by calling it a false flag or whatever. It really doesn't matter. It's how is it going to be used? Because if you have common sense, you're not going to say, okay, first order of business, we need to take guns away from everybody. We need to start with the AR-15 and the AK-47 style rifle. Nobody ever mentions the Ruger Mini 14. Have you guys ever shot a Ruger Mini 14? It's got a wood stock. It looks totally different than the AR-15, but has the exact same shooting character. It's a semi-automatic. Am I live? It's a semi-automatic rifle with the same kind of shooting character. It uses the 223. Same thing. Nobody's talking about the Ruger Mini 14. And if you ask somebody about it, they probably never heard of it. You want to get rid of the Ruger Mini 14? Well, what is that? Oh, it's a hunting rifle. No. We don't. We just want to do the assault rifles. It can be used as what they would term as an assault rifle. They have no idea what they're talking about. Zero. There's a lot of guns out there like that. They have the same shooting characteristics as an AK-47 or an AR-15, or very similar, but nobody's going after those. But technically they are. They're going after all guns, guys. You can do as much damage. Look at the Virginia Tech shooting. You can do as much or more. Well, I'm not going to say more, but you can do as much damage with 2 fully loaded semi-automatic handguns with extra magazines, which they call clips. A clip is not a magazine, by the way, and a magazine is not a clip. A clip is a clip, and a magazine is a magazine. A clip loads a magazine. The magazine loads into the gun. So when I hear people say, "Yeah, how many clips you got for that?" Clips. I don't use clips. I don't know what you're talking about. Clips just make it's clips. A clip has a little plastic or a metal thing right here that's holding the rounds, the bullets on, and the clip slides down into the magazine so you can load the magazine. Then the magazine goes into the guns. So when people are talking about clips, they really mean magazines, but it just shows you that they don't even know what they're talking about. It's very easy. And people will go, well, you're just getting into semantics here. No, it's really not semantics. A clip is not a magazine, and a magazine is not a clip. I load my SKS with a clip, yeah. And a good gun channel for that is Hick OK or Hick OK. Good guy. They give those gun channels a whole lot of grief, man. And you can learn so much from those channels, man. Hick, I think it's Hickok. He's got a great gun channel. Ruger Mini 30, 726 by 39. All Rugers now want. I want a Mini 14. Ruger Mini 14 is actually, oh, Hickok 45. Thank you, Tobias. Yeah, Hickok 45. Good guy. Matter of fact, if you're not subscribed to him, last I checked, he had a couple million subscribers. He's got a really good channel with a lot of good information. Okay, I just got a Truth Rising is a call for an uprising. Hurricane Dorian and everything you need to know about weaponized weather control. It is a weaponized weather formation, guys, coming up. They're about to slam into the East Coast. Weaponized. You can see it. There's video proof on Mike Morales' channel, One Pacific, Redwood. You can look at it at a call for an uprising. Never Lose Truth. All these channels are really good channels, and they just want to give you the truth. Yeah, I like a call for an uprising too. M1 Garen. I always rag on those who call mags clips. I do too, man. Not many people in my zone of influence, though, call a magazine a clip. World Trade 7 was so demo. Okay, let me get back to these. I could sit here and just read your comments all day. That'd be awesome. J984984 says, I got my hood on. Believe nothing, question everything. Cool, man. Oh, yeah. I got a shirt also. Believe nothing, question everything. Wish everyone would wake up to the lies of politicians, and then maybe we could change the world. That's what I'm here for. That's what I hope you're here for, is so that we can just change the minds. If we just change the minds of people, you can change society. That's what they're doing all the time in their 24/7 news cycles. They're trying to program you. It's literally called television programming, not for no reason. They're really programming you. Outright and just blatant, covert and overt. It's all about programming. It's all about getting power and control. Somebody, somewhere, wants control over your mind, over your rights, and over your pocketbook. And they want you to think that you're free. And none are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they're free. Period. It'll always be like that. So when you give the slaves an opportunity to choose a different slave master for their plantation, they stay on the plantation, but they get a different slave master. Oh, they're happy with that. Like pigs in slop. Pleased as punch. I get to choose. This is great. But they just vote for tighter chains, because the more deep you go into deception, the tighter your chains get, and you don't even know it. And that's the best. That's what Edward Bernays was all about. He's the father of public relations. The public relations is the psychological operation that keeps us in bondage in our minds and keeps our shackles tight on our wrists. And the key to proper psychological operations is make sure the slaves don't know they're slaves. Take control of their fiat currency. Take control of their time and laboring energies. Make them think that they're free, and they're not. Control their minds. Get behind the driver's seat. Grab the wheel of their minds and direct them where you want them to go, but don't let them know it. That's what it's all about. More super chats. Davey Crocco, what's up, man? Euro Ensemble Tracks. Weather shows the path. Very odd storm path. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Tongue Speaker says, there you go. I got to you, Tongue Speaker. These are the reasons we all need to abstain from paying taxes and voting until we get our country back. Well, not until, just forever. No, when you stop paying your taxes, just do it forever. What if we all rose up? What if just 10% of this 327 million population, 3.27 million people just rose up and said, screw it, you're not taking my money anymore. Life changer, game changer. We're running out of time to take it back. If it's not already too late. Yeah, we are running out of time. Flex Boyd, that's from Tongue Speaker. Thank you for the super chat. Super chat from Flex Boyd. Good work, Brian. Love your videos. Thanks, man. I really appreciate the support. Mother Clucker 101. Thanks for the super chat. No comment. Tongue Speaker, do you believe it would be immoral to steal back the money from the elite that they have stolen from the U.S. since 1913? It would be as immoral as the old lady sneaking up behind the purse snatcher and getting her purse back. So no, that wouldn't be immoral. But how would you do it? Where did all that money go? Where's all the gold that was supposed to back that money? That's why Charles de Gaulle said, "Shoot, load up the ships, get our freaking gold back from the bankers." And then Nixon closed the gold window in 1971 on August 15th. The Fall of Home says, someone tell Crenshaw that joining an unconstitutional war and stepping in a trap doesn't make him a hero. Amen. And a shout out to Tom from RTR Truth Media, because he broke a story that nobody on the internet has covered unless they took RTR Truth Media's video. I may post a snippet of that. The reason I haven't yet is because I wanted to make sure that Tom had enough views on his thing. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder or anything like that, but it's something everybody needs to see. There was this guy with a beard, can't remember what his name was, but he confronted Dad and Crenshaw about the red flag laws and the TAPS Act specifically. And when it was a cordial conversation that he was having with with Dan Crenshaw. Dan Crenshaw was still spewing his nonsense. Anybody see that video? It's the last. Shoot, I don't want to play it here because we're already 2 minutes and 24, 2 hours and 24 minutes into this video. I may upload it. It's just so hard to understand and hear what they said, and it would need to be wording would need to be added underneath the video. But the key is at the end of the conversation, Dan Crenshaw's wife grabbed this guy's iPhone, this video camera that they were recording with, and tried to delete the things that he was recording with the conversation with Dan Crenshaw. This guy was talking to Dan Crenshaw, and he had his buddy play it. You want me to play it? Who wants me to play that? I wonder if Tom's in the house. Tom from RTR, are you in the house? Let me text him real quick. Anybody know if Tom is in the house? I want to get his permission. Yeah, play it. Pretty interesting. Play it if you can. Explain then. Let me get his permission for that because I'd rather direct you to his video right now. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, so let me go to his channel. I just Skyped him and it doesn't look like he's seen my message, so let me see. RTR Truth. You know, another good channel is Truth Stream Media. They were doing so good, and YouTube just cut them down. It's BS. Yeah, the name of the video is right here. I don't know if you can. I got to get on the other side of my computer screen to see if you can see it. It's this one right here. Where's my finger? Yeah, it's right there. Dan Crenshaw's wife may need red flag. He's, of course, saying that tongue cheek. Snatches iPhone of hubby's interview, tries to deny it. You can see that the phone was being grabbed. The guy said to Dan Crenshaw's security detail, which was a police officer, "Hey, this lady just grabbed my phone. She took my property. She tried to erase this conversation. She didn't end up erasing it. He was Facebook living this thing, so it was going to the cloud, which there's nothing she could have done about it. But she did try. She did attempt. She took the guy's property and attempted to violate his First Amendment rights. You know, freedom of the press, to erase that, which is BS, man. That is such BS. You know, if that guy did that to Dan Crenshaw's wife or to Dan Crenshaw, law enforcement would have been all over him. But law enforcement did nothing because he's in Congress and, we can't do that. That wouldn't look good. That wouldn't be good press. Hey, a human being took the property of another human being. Where's the justice? There is no justice when you're dealing with government employees and government functionaries. Could you post a link to that video in the chat? Yes. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm more than happy. By the way, guys, if you go see this, it's only got 1,251 freaking views. Look at this. This video should have 125.1 thousand views. It's maddening. Vital information being kept from the people. I'm going to post this in the chat. I need to hand out some wrenches so that you guys can admin this so that I'm not wasting anybody's time. Where's my chat? There's the chat. If you go to this video, guys, can you subscribe to his channel? He's got, let's get him over 17,000 today. He's got like 50 more to go to get there. All right, I'm gonna blitz the chat room with this. Hey, no more news. Adam Green is in the house, guys. We will talk about no more news. That's a dangerous individual. You guys know that? Anybody know about Adam Green from No More News? You've been watching for 45 minutes. Adam Green from No More News. Let's pull up that guy's channel. Thanks for coming, Adam. You know what I love about Adam Green? He's no freaking BS, man. He backs everything he says with documentation. Boom, here's what they say. Boom, here's what they wrote. And it incenses me that here, let me just go. I here's Adam Green's channel. He's got 109,000 subscribers. Hey, good job, Adam. You actually increased a little bit in the last couple of days, it looks like. Here's Adam's channel right here. No more news. Adam, do you want to Skype me and let's do something just ad hoc here? This is no more news. Adam's got 100,239. Let's see if we can get him at 110,000 by the end of the day. These last couple, actually all of his videos, man, are a treasure trove of BS exposing, on fire, no holds barred. If this was if Adam was involved in WWE, he'd actually be hitting people. There wouldn't be this razor blade cut and fake blood on the mat. There'd be blood, real blood all over the place. That's how hardcore this guy is. Adam, do you have time for a super chat? I mean, not a super chat, but a Skype chat. Anybody want to see Adam on you want to do a real quick Skype thing? Sure, you can pop in. Okay, man. I'm gonna once you hook up with me, why don't you Skype me and then we'll get you on. Just sub RTR, just sub no more news. Yeah, guys, go over here. It's no more news. I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna put the link to his last video in the description right now. Talk about blowing the lid off of Zionism, man. Okay, so here's the link for RTR, and here's I'm gonna blitz the chat with links to no more news. This is his last video. Go there and just let him know High Impact Flicks saying, yeah, we need to get together on truth, man. Yeah, just hit me up on Skype, Adam. I'm open right now for you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the support for RTR and No More News. This is totally ad hoc, not planned. Everybody good? Everybody want to do a chat with Adam from No More News? Davey Crocco's in the house. We need to get Davey Crocco on the line. Why don't we do a three-way? Adam did good with Alex Jones call in. Yeah. Let's do it, guys. Let's do this. 2 hours and 32. You guys good? What do you think? Should we start a new chat? How about we start a new chat, guys? Because what I would like to do is make it a standalone. You want to do it? Oh, shoot. Yeah, you want to? Okay, let's get hooked up with Adam real quick. Hey, what's up, Adam?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Hey, what I'd like to do, why don't we make, how much time do you have? Do you have like at least 30 minutes? 25, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't I end my stream right now? Because people are saying it'd be good to just end this stream and start a new one. Because I wasn't planning on doing this. I'm 2 hours and 33 minutes into my video. Most people won't.
Yeah, I saw. I've been watching for like the last 45 minutes.
All right, cool. Let's do this ad hoc. You want to?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about. You were talking about Building 7. I got a playlist I made for the 15th anniversary that I wanted to give a plug for, at least on the end of this video, that shows some experiments and really shows, it has short videos that are good for sharing and learning about like the physics aspects of the Twin Towers and Building 7.
Okay, let's do that. Let me end this stream right here, and I'll start another stream. Hey guys, give me 10 minutes. I'm not planning on taking the 10 minutes, but I'm excited about this actually. Give me 10 minutes. I'll set up a new stream. Let me close this stream down, and you guys good? Give me, if I get 50 thumbs up, we're doing this thing. Give me a thumbs up. Hold on a second, Adam.
Okay.
If I get 50 thumbs up, what we're going to do is start a new stream with Adam from No More News. Okay, so far I got 5, 6, 7, 8.
See a lot of thumbs up.
Okay, that's about 15, 20. I'm pumped about this, Adam. I've been wanting to do this a long time with you.
How'd you get from talking about gun violence to Building 7?
Just it's all interlinked, and them trying to control us. They use Building 7 as a presupposition to the Patriot Act and control and TSA and.
Right.
Okay, guys, I got that's over 50. Okay, cool. I'm shutting this down, and we're gonna start a brand new live stream in less than 10 minutes on this channel, talking to Adam Green from No More News. We'll be right back.